Applewood smoked bacon, and crunchy fried onions atop a juicy beef patty. For those craving the same great taste, Wendy's Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato is also loaded with sautéed portobello mushrooms, cheddar cheese sauce, and crispy Applewood smoked bacon. Here, for a limited time, get a delicious Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger and Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato today. Wendy's. Now that's better.
President Trump's legal team on the Russia probe is changing again. Just days after he added a former U.S. attorney to the mix, the lead lawyer, John Dowd, resigns.
Dowd was really the one who championed providing witnesses and records on a voluntary basis to the special counsel. A key legal argument is whether the president was within his authority to fire the former FBI Director James Comey in May of 2017. Outside analysts question why the special counsel needs to interview the president when other witnesses or records could answer those questions.
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Washington. In a written statement, Dowd reiterates his recent statement that it's time for the collusion probe to end, also saying he's proud of the president's transparency, adding it's beyond him how anyone could accuse the president of obstruction. A farewell ceremony for outgoing Secretary of State Rex Tillerson.
It was a warm send-off for Tillerson as he thanked State Department staff for the work they do daily.
In some instances, perplexing foreign affairs relationships, and in other instances, serious national security threats.
Tillerson never mentioned President Trump by name, but may have commented on the internal climate in asking staff to be kind to others.
This can be a very mean-spirited town.
And with that, he exited Washington, saying everyone chooses who they want to be and how they wish to be treated. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
A deputy's in charge for now as CIA Chief Mike Pompeo, nominated to replace Tillerson, awaits confirmation hearings. Budget Chief Mick Mulvaney says if a spending plan that passed the House today wins final passage in the Senate, the president would sign it.
Is it perfect? No. Is it exactly what we asked for in the budget? No. Were we ever going to get that? No. That's not how the process works.
Some conservative senators upset about the price tag, more than $1 trillion. And again, a big sell-off on Wall Street. The Dow down 723, nearly 3%. Dropping under 24K. Lisa Brady, Fox News Radio.
Hey, it's your stomach again. Subway has all new signature wraps, and around the water cooler, the other stomachs can't stop talking about them. Chipotle Southwest steak and cheese, turkey, bacon, and guac, rotisserie-style chicken Caesar signature wraps. Listen, if I'm honest, as a talking stomach, I don't have a lot of life experience. But I do know one thing. These signature wraps are jam-packed with meat. So what are you waiting for? I'm growling over here. Subway. Make it what you want.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Special things only come around once a year, and it's time for fish fans to celebrate the return of Wendy's Cod Filet Sandwich. Wendy's uses the gold standard for fried fish, wild-caught Northern Pacific cod, breaded with panko crumbs to a light crisp. Add a new creamy dill tartar sauce and crisp pickles, and you've got the fish sandwich many say is the best of the bunch. Get yours today at Wendy's, located in Tamonite, Barragata, Agana, Dededo, and Naval Base. Wendy's Cod Filet. Now that's better.
Every time I travel, there's something from home that I can't leave without. I take my Docomo Pacific Data to Go to share my stories in Taiwan, check subway routes in Tokyo, be my food guide in Hong Kong, meet new friends in the Philippines, make updates in the States, find my way around Korea, and check out all the cool shows in Singapore. It's the data I have in all the places I love for only $10 a day. Data to Go from Docomo Pacific. Better together.
It's super, stupendous, it's sensational. It's a sensational seafood menu at Ruby Tuesday with satisfying selections of classic entrees like the fish trio and new favorites like lobster carbonara or seafood pan roast. Try them all and enjoy sensational seafood for a limited time at Ruby Tuesday, Guam.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A star witness for the prosecution of former Guam Customs Lieutenant took the stand in district court yesterday in the meth trial of Raymond Martinez and Juanita Moser. Henry Alvendia testified much of the day, describing how he was approached by the defendants in 2013 to get his advice on smuggling meth into Guam. Alvendia signed a plea agreement in 2015 admitting to bribery, fraud, and other corruption charges. As part of that deal, he agreed to work with authorities to conduct a sting on Moser and Martinez. Moser and Martinez are accused of trying to smuggle 8 pounds of meth into Guam. Defense attorney David Lujan attacked Alvendia's credibility yesterday, calling him the most corrupt customs officer in the history of Guam. Alvendia's testimony continues today. Public Auditor Doris Flores Brooks has received a letter from the Guam Election Commission about a possible violation of election law. Brooks said the letter was very broad and she is seeking clarification from the commission. Until she officially responds to the letter, the public auditor said she could not comment further. Guam election law restricts the use of campaign contributions and what those contributions can be spent on. The Guam Election Commission is charged with enforcing the restrictions. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan telling the Post yesterday that campaign expenditures are supposed to be strictly for services and goods related to the campaign. If commission staff members find something questionable in a candidate's expenditure report, the commission will then ask the candidate for clarification. We'll have more news after this.
For more than 40 years, we've managed our island's most precious resource, your health. Take Care's benefit plans allow members access to more than 120 medical providers, 40 dental providers, and 18 pharmacies in the region. Take Care's health plans ensure members in Palau, Saipan, and Guam receive the care they deserve. Our programs and wellness classes have proven results for our valued members, and our commitment to your health never been stronger. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Do you suffer from eye strain? If you work at a computer, follow the 20-20-20 rule. Every 20 minutes, look 20 feet away for 20 seconds to reduce eye fatigue. Ensure you have the optimal prescription for your contact lenses and glasses. Early stages of common eye diseases typically have no symptoms and can only be detected with a comprehensive dilated eye exam. Call Lombard Health today to book an appointment at 989-4747. Guam's best eye care, one patient at a time.
10 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. It is Payday Friday for GovGuam employees, and Guam Memorial Hospital Administrator Peter John Camacho telling the Post yesterday that paychecks for all employees at the hospital will be issued as scheduled on time this afternoon. 2 weeks ago on payday morning, a memo was issued to all GMH employees warning of a possible delay in their paychecks after Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglona told the hospital board the night before that only $600,000 was left in the payroll account. That was $2.3 million short. Camacho said that won't happen today, however. Meanwhile, Governor Calvo was not so confident yesterday after a groundbreaking ceremony. He said it'll be tough to make Friday's payroll for all GovGuam employees. He pointed out that the first revenues from the new tax legislation won't come in until May 20th. So for the next couple of months, said the governor, it's going to be hairy. As of Thursday evening, Governor's Communications Director Oya Nirarikral was unable to confirm that sufficient funds were available to make full payroll for Government of Guam employees today. 2 men were charged in district court yesterday after attempted possession of meth with intent to distribute after federal law enforcement agents seized a FedEx envelope containing 114 grams of crystal meth. Jesse Leon Guerrero and Jarrett Leon Guerrero were named in a federal complaint. The 2 men allegedly opened a package at their residence on Lubanos Street in Barrigada that contained the drug. Homeland Security agents executed a warrant to search their residence after obtaining a federal tracking warrant and replacing the package with sham and an electronic tracking device. The 2 suspects were remanded to the custody of the U.S. Marshals. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray with some weather.
What did you say they replaced the meth with?
Sham. Fake stuff.
Fake stuff.
Not the real thing.
Just something else. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Did they have like a box of sham in there?
I guess so, you know. The
Put some sham in there.
Well, we won't get to have any more of it because they make it in China.
In Shanghai. The weather for today. Let me see here.
Thank you. Yeah, a little late.
Fire weather watch remains. I didn't know I was going to be funny. Sorry, I didn't know. We couldn't have planned that.
It's Friday.
A fire weather watch remains in effect through Saturday afternoon for Guam, central and southern mountain regions, the Savannah Lands, most dangerous time from late morning until sunset, because that's when it's hot. A lot of smoke coming out of the middle of the island yesterday. Did you catch all that?
I did. I saw it. A little murky and hazy out there.
I was thinking we should, for times like this, for the tourists and stuff, we got to do laser shows against the sat.
That we see.
Right?
Yeah. We could generate funds. Go figure.
Dry season weather patterns remain firmly in place. That means today, partly cloudy skies and isolated showers, winds easterly up to about 20 miles an hour, increasing to 25 miles an hour on Sunday. Wow. 25 miles an hour. It never used to make any difference to me, right? When you start looking at where the wind is and what the speed is on regular days, like non-typhoon days. But since I've been running, it's 25 miles. You got to run against that. That's a pain in the hiney.
That's a headwind right there.
Exactly. So watch out for that on Sunday. It'll be coming out of the east, so you want to be going westerly and hopefully downhill. Highs near 88 degrees today and overnight lows of about 76 degrees. Sunset tonight, 6:32. Is the sun rising earlier this morning? 11 minutes from right now is when the sun is going to be coming up. And I got a feeling by the time it gets to be summer times, we ought to see the sun coming up about 5:45. My old man in Matthews, North Carolina, enjoying sunny 57 degrees today. Overnight lows of 33 degrees. And I'm trying to think if that's as good as it gets for the next couple of days. It won't be nice again until Wednesday when the temps will be way back. Oh, wait. Thursday. The temps go back up to 76 degrees.
Wow.
Is that the nor'easter? Is that the nor'easter at work? Is it just crappy North Carolina weather?
Yeah, well, it's that time of year,
Too far south for a nor'easter.
Nor'easter up there?
Yeah.
But too far north for any of the cool hurricanes, right? Not a bad spot. Maybe that's why everybody chooses to live there. 6:14 in the morning, that's news and weather together. Brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
When the power goes out on Guam, the little things can become surprisingly big. Small comforts are often the things we miss most during a power outage. That is why Kohler built the fastest responding generator sets in the industry. Whether you are at home or away, a residential Kohler generator will enable you and your family to live life without interruption. Kohler gas, LPG, and diesel power systems are available from Morrico Equipment, LLC on Epal Road. Call 649-1946. That's 649-1946.
That wasn't supposed to play. It's your turn.
Yeah, I got it. Portions of the program, the parts where I stutter, brought to you by King's Restaurant, serving Guam's favorite restaurant. Serving Guam favorites to families for over 40 years. King's Restaurant's always open, always local. How about there? Is that supposed to be the one?
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Buenas and Hafade, Guau si Claraming Lotnya of Malolo. And this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Protehi itanotmu, protect your land. When it comes to your family land, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
6:16. I can read lips. Some of the words that you were saying just a second ago.
Well, yeah. Sound a lot like this on the radio.
Subway's got your fresh choices for Lent. Sink your teeth into the classic tuna or indulge in the mouthwatering greatness of their seafood sensation. Or I want you to try this, the tasty Veggie Max, a delicious vegetarian patty, free of artificial colors and flavors. Visit any of their convenient locations today at Subway. Fresh, it's what they do.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Friday is my kind of day. Friday. And then we'll work on the lyrics later on. I'll just, go in, do a big production number.
Nice.
Right? Be like the old Stan Freberg days.
Oh,
Friday. Anyway, hey, welcome to the program. Excuse the mess. My name is Ray Gibson. Pleasure to have you aboard here this morning for the Friday version of the Ray Gibson Show. As usual, Kevin Kerrigan has got the news and everything from the Guam Daily Post. And Michael Knight gets the phone when you call at 888-8255. Again, that number is 888-8255. You want to listen to the radio, 93.3 and HD3 on 104.3. You want to catch us on a stream, bunch of different ways to do that. Go to thepoint.gu. Should be able to watch the morning show unfold from there, mistakes and all. And then, of course, we've got the Facebook feed that I love sending this out to. I like the Facebook side a lot because it allows for a crazy kind of interaction. Even before I'd cracked the mic, I already had a chance to say good morning to Mark Mendiola and cousin Tom Barcenas. And James Tillman says, good morning, Ray and Kevin. Don't forget Mike. He's going to get sensitive about this. So good morning, Ray and Kevin and Mike. That comprises the entire team here at the station. Valerie Lynn is online. I'm sorry, Valerie, was yesterday your birthday? I'm sorry, I missed it. Maybe next year there will be a little bit more of a to-do here when it comes to all of that. And that's kind of the neat thing about Facebook is I can see who's on, you can see who's on, and you can interact with each other. And frankly, as I like to say, just for fun, if you're an advertiser and these are the kind of people with opinions and thoughts that and money that you would like running around in your business, this is a good place to advertise to them, don't you think? 888-8255 is a telephone number, and I'm going to start the program today because I got to get her on early because she's an educator and she got to go teach. Good morning, Becky. How you doing?
Good morning.
You okay there? Did you what is that in there? What did you eat, a bug?
Sounds like it, doesn't it?
It does. How are you supposed to teach with that voice?
Well, luckily this morning it's testing day, so I don't have to talk as much with at least part of my kids.
Oh, isn't that all? Yay, test day! No test day, but you promised. Oh, see, that's why there's still prayer in schools, no matter what. Anyway, so how do you do it? You know why I went to school at Father Duenas, and we had John Forbes. Who was our instructor. And I never knew when there was going to be a test. He'd just come in and say, sit down, shut up, take out a sheet of paper, fold it 4 times, because he didn't like to waste paper. So we always use quarter sheets of paper. And then he'd give us like a 5 or 10 question test. And then you'd give it to the guy next to you, and the guy next to you would grade it.
Well, these are my first graders, and today it's a one-on-one part of the test.
Now is a great time to start training them. Just walk in there one day, just sit down and shut up, you first graders.
Well, that was kind of like what it was yesterday. It's like, hey.
Oh, that's why. That's why.
Yeah.
Just don't make them stand outside in the middle of the day.
Well, we had our tomorrow program yesterday, and they did stand outside.
Oh.
Day.
Yeah, but not like up at the other school, right?
No.
Okay. They got bathroom breaks and water and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They got bathroom breaks, and they got to watch the other kids do their program, and yeah, it was fun.
I'm glad. Listen, I don't want to put too much of a strain on your voice today, so we'll just go over the basics and highlight the Habitat for Humanity quiz night on April the 20th at the Sheraton.
At the Sheraton, exactly. And I actually have 2 other little things to throw out there. If you got kids and you'd like to have a picture with the Easter Bunny, that Agania Shopping Center, starting tomorrow from 30:30 until 7:30, all the way through Easter, you can go to the photo booth and have your picture taken with the Easter Bunny, and all the proceeds go to Habitat.
Very nice. And this is with the Easter Bunny.
With the Easter Bunny.
Oh, very nice, very nice. Okay, so if you
know, it doesn't even have to just be kids. I said you have to bring your kids down. You could go too.
As you know, we'll bring the whole morning show team down there.
Yeah, I could see it.
How exciting that would be. Well, that's cool. What else you got? What was the other thing?
Well, there's another get-together tonight, and Oh, gosh, I'm looking at it. Friday mixer.
A Friday mixer. Keep going. I'm already. You had me at Friday mixer. I'm with you. Keep going.
A fundraiser at the Skyline Restro Pub, which I'm actually got to figure out exactly where that is, so I know where to show up tonight.
Wait, Skyline Restro Pub.
Resto Pub.
Okay, yeah. You know, that's not even in my library of Friday night places. You're gonna need to get me some location information.
Well, that's a good. I thought somebody told me that it was in Agania, but I don't know.
Skyline Restro. Wait. Am I thinking it's where Donson's Jewelry used to be on the way in there?
I don't remember where Johnson's used to be.
Wow.
No. Near Salvation Army.
Near the Salvation Army. Skyline Restro. Oh,
yeah, it says it's in Tamuning on Marine Corps Drive.
Right? That's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
And I remember going up there. My recollection, being and a bunch of old cable buddies had a chance to get up there one night, and my recollection, they're very, very pretty ladies that work in the bar. I mean, I'm serious. Worth getting in trouble for, ladies. And then, but you know, if married already, you got they also had bowls of chips, which was nice. Chips and yeah.
I forgot all about that.
Did you?
Yeah, it's only a couple of miles from here.
Okay,
so,
all right. Well, we'll work on getting some details on this. So, what time tonight?
It starts at. Hang on, let me pull it back. I lost my thing. It starts from 6 until 10.
6 until 10. So, is
donation.
How much?
And there'll be you have one free drink and some poo-poos and a chance to win door prize. And it looks like there's going to be a raffle to win a round-trip ticket to Manila.
Oh.
So, woo-hoo-hoo.
Okay, and this is a Habitat for Humanity fundraiser. Do me a favor. Before you leave, send me whatever flyer it is that you're looking at so I can make sure I've got some heavy details for our listeners.
Okay.
Right?
Sounds great.
All right,
Thank
Beck. Listen, I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you pretty soon. A lozenge or something, or stop eating bugs.
Yeah, one of the two.
Okay.
Bugs, I don't know.
And Habitat for Humanity quiz night, April the 20th, Sheraton. We'll get you plenty of details between here and there. 6:24 in the morning. Don't you hate it when you wake up and you get that?
I know that's bad. Skyline Guam looks like it's just on the other side from here. Now we're down by DPW, so just on the other side of Bank Pacific.
Other side
down
of Bank
by
Pacific.
Governor Camacho Road.
Okay.
Yeah. The old Camp Road, whatever it is.
Camp
leads out to
Watkins.
Oakland.
Okay, all right. Somebody drop a pin in a map and then send it to me. Or just when it happens, drop a pin in a map, send me your location on WhatsApp, and then we'll all be there together. Good morning, Ken. Hey, that's nice. Janae's awake. Tim Lawn, Donis Cruz Mendiola, James Howard is on. Ken Leon Guerrero awake already. John Brennan is saying good morning from Oahu, Hawaii. Well, great to have you along. Nick Perlowski talking about us being the three amigos, Ray, Kevin, and Michael. That's right, but we don't need no stinking badges. At 6:25 in the morning, and that might work out for me. I went and did my run last night. Although I wasn't I was thinking maybe what I'll do is I'll go to, they had a Guam Young Professionals function at what's the name of the place?
We don't qualify anymore.
Over at Cars. Yeah, that's what was in my head. And over at Cars Plus, they had this thing in the lobby last night, and I was thinking about going to it, because it's a Guam Young Professionals thing, and I have endorsed. I paid for membership for. Seriously, I know. This
20 years ago, right?
No, not for me. I paid for membership for certain employees so that they can be members of the Guam Young Professionals group, right? So I figured I'd go and see how my money is being invested. But, you get that feeling. It wouldn't have been a problem 20 years ago, but I get that feeling now, at 55 going on 56 years old, I'd be the creepy old guy. Oh, yeah, he's a businessman. Got a couple of radio stations over in the thing. But, yeah, he's kind of creepy old guy. We'll have him stand with the other creepy old guys at our GYP Nobody Over 30 Allowed party. Anyway, so it's good to know that there is a different thing that's going to be going on at the Skyline Resto Lounge. Now the problem with all of that while I was chewing on that is it didn't give me a chance to do the expression, if you will, of our table of contents, the pre-ramble on the show. Now, when I came in, I said, kind of thin today. Kev? And Kev says, you think so, really? And maybe it's just I mentally here, after having done this for a number of years, you kind of get into a Friday mode. And I mean, unless there's real talkie hitting the fan somewhere, you know, Friday is kind of a little bit more of a laid-back, hair down kind of a day. And I'm looking over my own table of contents, and I'm thinking, yeah, there's stuff to talk about, obviously, but I don't know that there's anything that is hitting the fan this morning.
Well, there's one thing on your mind if you're a GovGuam employee.
Is the check going to bounce? Yeah. And how much of the check am I going to be able to get? It's payday today.
How many radio stations have you worked at where you had to race to the bank after getting your check to ensure that you got yours?
I've been very lucky in my career. The only time where there was ever a problem was trying to remember how it worked. It was the funds were put in the wrong place. They were there, but they were put into the wrong account. So when I presented the check, they said there's nothing there, and so I made a quick telephone call, and 5 minutes later, the money was taken from the account in error and placed in the correct account. But I've been pretty lucky, and as much as it'd be fun to talk smack about former employers. You should at least try to keep it as truthful as possible. The couple of things that are in my head today, and we might spend a little bit of time talking about this. I guess a couple of journos got a hold of Eddie yesterday at the groundbreaking for the $44 million construction on the roadways that we've been talking about. And said, Dave, what you been thinking about these days? And he's talking about the tax bills that are coming out, and was expressing that Mike Sinicolas and Regine Lee, irresponsible and inexperienced as they present these measures. One of them, which would repeal in its entirety the sales tax side of whatever bills that we've got floating around. And Regine's, which would allow for certain exemptions for personal hygiene and uncooked food and all of that. And he says, well, it's, obviously there's an issue there with them being irresponsible and inexperienced. And I'm wondering, how come he didn't say the same thing about his Republican guy, Estevez, who had a piece of legislation that is thicker than Regine's by about, I don't know, a dozen pages.
Left him out.
Yeah, left him out. So it arguably does the same thing as Regine's, but more. And so is he then also irresponsible and inexperienced? Or are we just going after Democrats?
Politics.
I know it. So I just thinking about that in my head. It's incongruous. You've got to draw them all with the same brush. And I get it. There's people who don't like any of them, but in the very least, in this case, you need to be fair and say if you don't like Regine's deal, you don't have to like Regine's deal. But that means that you have to dislike your guy, Fernando Estevez's, even more. That's just the way I see it. Where are we now? 6:29, 6:30 in the morning. Plenty to talk about. And again, 888-8255. If you, after I go through the table of contents and you go, oh, you're missing something, or maybe you need to think about this, call me up and let me know what it is. The email is working this morning. That's raygibsonshow@gmail.com. But right now, it's time to find out what the big headlines are. If you missed the top of the hour newscast, Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post.
Afaday and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 32 minutes past 6 a.m. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, an investigation underway at the Department of Corrections after a glass pipe used to smoke meth was discovered Wednesday at the prison's Post 5, which is used for disciplinary segregation of prisoners. DOC Director Tony Lamorena said the pipe contained suspected meth residue and was found in a Post 5 cell during a regular shakedown at the facility. The prison has been conducting shakedowns on a daily basis in an effort to curb contraband smuggling into the prison. The judiciary of Guam hopes to collect around $4.5 million if a plan to garnish income tax refunds for outstanding court fees, fines, and other court-related obligations is approved. The Judicial Council discussed details of the plan yesterday. It involves finalizing a memorandum of agreement with Revan Tax for the purpose of implementing a tax refund offset program. Under the agreement, past due, legally enforced debts owed by taxpayers to the judiciary may be offset against income tax refunds. The judiciary has accumulated more than 7,700 active citations that total around $2.3 million. Another 7,500 active warrants of arrest represent $2.2 million in payables. 3 men were charged in Superior Court yesterday for their alleged involvement in a drunken brawl over a cell phone that led to a stabbing at a gas station parking lot in Dededo. It happened about 11 at night Wednesday near the Fatima Mobile Station. The victim reportedly sustained a quarter-inch puncture wound to his back. Court documents say he declined medical treatment, and the documents note that he had a strong smell of alcohol. The suspects fled in a red Honda Civic, which was later stopped in Dededo. The driver and 2 passengers later identified by the victim. They, too, had reportedly been drinking. The 3 charged are 25-year-old Chris Leon, facing 1 count of felony aggravated assault, 30-year-old Tempson Lamper, charged with 1 count of assault as a misdemeanor, and 19-year-old Carlton Rubin, charged with 1 count of underage consumption of alcohol as a misdemeanor as well. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
This is interesting. They're going after citation, though, that they haven't been able to collect by garnishing the tax refunds.
Yeah, their budgets has been cut as well, so they're looking to find funds wherever they can.
So, they weren't a part of that already?
Apparently not.
Because I know GMH, I think the University of Guam, if you owe outstanding, I think, yeah, they're among those in line to be able to garnish funds. I always thought that the courts would just naturally be involved in that.
Yeah, but good luck trying to get funds out of some of the suspects.
For sure. Well, find them. Keep the marshals busy for sure. 6:34 is iConnect time. Connect longer for less with iConnect's push-to-talk mobile and internet plans.
With the pending implementation of a new sales tax, the team of Gutierrez Bordalio is greatly concerned for the people of Guam. The collection of this tax means $160 million a year will come from our already suffering working class and will negatively impact the cost of living for our island families. If given the opportunity, our team would immediately look at restructuring the government to reduce from the top and prioritize critical services. We need a streamlined plan. We need leadership. We need Gutierrez Bordalio.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Portions of the program also brought to you by our friends over at First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Triple J says yes. 0 down? Yes. 1.9% financing? Yes. Easy trade-in? Yes. No payments for 90 days? Yes. We'll have you saying yes, too, to these amazing deals. Like our big boy truck, the Ford F-150 at only $217 per paycheck. Or the top safety pick Mazda CX-5 Sport at only $194 per paycheck. Or turn heads in the Mazda 3 Sport or the sleek and sophisticated Kia Soul. Both for only $129 per paycheck. Visit us online at triplejguam.com. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J. Customers first.
It's time for a Cold Stone break. Try the new strawberry shortcake and fresh lemon pie ice cream. Mix them with your favorite fruits, nuts, candies, or even the golden Oreo cookies. You can't find golden Oreo cookies anywhere. They're extremely rare.
Go to Kmart. Got them at Kmart.
I'm trying to build it up here. So it's the only place you can find them is at Cold Stone. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Well, that's only with the ice cream. Yeah.
Yeah. So golden Oreo cookies.
Good.
In their natural habitat. Cold Stone Creamery at the Guam Premier Outlet and the Micronesia Mall.
Ready to buy real estate on Guam? Congratulations! But what now? There are so many questions, so many things to do. Where do you start? The best place to start is to call Century 21 Commonwealth Realty, Guam's biggest name in real estate. They aren't the best because they're the biggest. They're the biggest because they're the best. Trust the name. Find out why. Call Century 21 Commonwealth Realty today. 888-2121. Trust the best.
As we journey through the new year, we here at APL continue to find ways to better deliver our island's resources with innovative and cost-effective solutions, lending our helping hands by carrying your freight safely from the U.S. mainland or anywhere in our global network. We humbly honor the opportunities to continue to work and connect with you and your business. We are APL, and we are here for you.
Come out for the 4th annual Chucky Run and Fun 5K, 2K, and Flyaway giveaway. Join us Saturday, April 14th at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Show at 5:30 and go at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, refreshments, and indoor activities after the races. Grand prize drawing for all participants is a trip package for 2 to Manila. Register at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and group of 4 Super Saver for just $35. The 4th annual Chuck E. Run and Fun 5K, 2K, and Flyaway giveaway. See you there.
Oh, the traffic time. Yeah, this is going to be awkward. I didn't even look at the thing yet. I haven't turned it on. I'm just assuming it's just barely breaking daylight outside, so there's no cars.
Yeah, it's Friday payday, so it's going to get busy all day, especially around lunchtime.
All right, well, play the next 2 commercials, and I'll turn on the gizmo and see what it says.
Hafade, my name is James Moylan, and I'm running for a seat as your senator. The people of Guam expect more from their leaders, and I intend on delivering. If given the opportunity, I will bring my experiences in the military, public, and private sectors. I understand that during challenging times, tough decisions and an open mind are needed. Your tax dollars also need to be spent wisely. If you expect more from your elected officials and expect them to think outside of the box, then I humbly ask for your support this November. Thank you.
Paid for by the committee to elect James Camacho Moylan for Senator. Carlos Camacho, Treasurer.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Yeah, I'm looking at the gizmo. It's Friday morning, and you might see a little bit more traffic than usual at this time of day, but I'm not seeing any major congestion points. Looks like getting into Adelup and making that turn at the old Automasters down there might be a little bit of a trick for you, where the gas station is. And then there's northbound on Marine Corps Drive coming up through there. And incidentally, one of our very few dead spots right there. So there's no point in me saying there's a problem there, because folks that are listening through static. What have we got here? And then there's another one, not a dead spot, but another little piece of congestion southbound Marine Corps Drive as you get into Big Navy and the front gate down there at Sumai. It might see a little bit of congestion there, but of course it could be just a line at Infusion. We'll see what happens. 6:38 in the morning. That's what's happening with traffic right here on The Point. I'll just keep going? I mean, as in start the show? As in just okay.
That's yeah.
We don't. I don't have a rejoin, or I don't have.
We paid the bills this morning.
Okay. So. All right. Good. Okay. I'm sorry if I'm a little distracted this morning. Is number one, I am amazed at the quality of the sleep that I had last night. I'm serious. Every once in a while, you just got to brag about it, right? I laid down, and most nights, you get a little bit of fitfulness. You wake up a couple of times and do this, and for me last night, just like a baby, a baby. I woke up, and I'm usually up before the alarm clock.
Makes you want to go back to sleep, huh?
Well, I spent a little bit of time at the snooze bar. Last call at the snooze bar this morning before I decided to get up and join you lads for a morning show.
And clearly, judging on my performance, I'm still in bed.
Well, as I said, it's Friday, a little bit more of a hair down kind of day today, and the items in the table of contents is the second thing that has been a little bit distracting for me. Is where the heck is this Skyline Lounge? Now Becky did send me the flyers as I had asked her to, and it says fundraiser March 23rd, 2018, 6 until 10 p.m., $15 at the Skyline Resto Pub, and then there's a thing in here about win round trip to Manila. Each ticket donation entitles the bearer to a drink, poo-poos, and a chance to win the door prize, which is the trip to Manila. And you should be doing this anyway, because it's a fundraiser for Habitat for Humanity. These folks do incredible work around here, and so let's support them where we can. And so that's the question: is where can we support them? I have no idea where. If it's the place that I'm thinking of, I might just stay there. It might be at someplace else. I don't know, but we'll work on that together. I've already asked the Intrepid Force on our Facebook lineup thing, and I got nothing. I got nothing. Yes, I did get the release. Hold on a second. Sure. Hold on. I see a thing here. I'm not good at multitasking, typing, and that. Neil Weir from an outfit called, used to be called the We the People Project. They recently changed their name to Equally American. And the idea is that there are 4 million American citizens living in the U.S. territories, Guam and Puerto Rico, yada, 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 and who seem to be on the one side or the other of full-on recognition as U.S. citizens, vote for the president, all of that kind of thing, and kind of fuzzy with relationships with between us and other parts of the federal government, and get stuffed all over in treaties and things like that. So we were originally talking last week about maybe doing a call-in just to get me caught up and up to speed on what they were up to. And he says, "Hold on, we're going to be doing something here in the next couple of days. So give me." Yeah, in fact, this is him now. I'll go ahead and pick it up without having it go through the call screener. Good morning, Neil. How you doing? Neil, are you there? Turn the phone thing on. There you go. I can hear you now. Good morning, Neil. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Half a day.
Half a day. Get me caught up now. We'll start with we changed our name from We the People to Equally American. Let's start with the impetus behind that.
Yeah, sure. So, we founded a nonprofit organization just over 5 years ago to advocate for equality and civil rights in U.S. territories. And have mostly been doing that on the side as I've worked full-time at a law firm here in D.C. But recently we got a decent amount of funding, and as part of transitioning to doing this work full-time, we also rebranded the name of the nonprofit to Equally American to have it be a little bit more mission-focused and kind of explain, exactly what it is that we're fighting for, that, wherever you happen to live as a U.S. citizen, you should enjoy basic rights like the right to vote for president, like being treated equally along with your fellow Americans, particularly since, residents of Guam and other territories served so much in U.S. Armed Forces and in the military.
Yeah, we certainly made the investments towards full citizenship.
Yeah, Guam stepped up time and time again and continues to do so, and yet on a range of federal programs and in a range of different ways, they continue to face a second-class status, and we're working to try to end that.
I'm curious about the connection now between Equally American, and the filing of an amicus brief that it seems to be more focused on issues that they're having in Puerto Rico. That are related, obviously, to issues that we've got here. I've seen the press release, but unfortunately, I've only been able to get through a couple of paragraphs.
Sure. So today we're excited to file an amicus brief in a case on behalf of Congresswoman Madeline Bordallo, former Governor Carl Gutierrez, and a number of current and former elected officials in the U.S. Virgin Islands, and Congressman Sablon, actually, from the Northern Mariana Islands, in a case that's before a Human Rights Commission out of the Organization of American States. And so this was a case filed by former Puerto Rican Governor Pedro Rosselló, whose son is now the current governor of Puerto Rico. And he's made the argument, and the case was actually filed over 10 years ago and is just now getting to be heard by the commission, so it's taken some time. But his basic argument is that denial of voting rights and political participation in U.S. territories is not just a violation of America's core democratic principles. It's not just something that's morally wrong. It's actually a violation of international law and a number of agreements that the United States has reached with respect to promoting democratic participation abroad. And so they had reached out to us to try to organize leaders from the other territories to stand together in solidarity to make the basic point that, if 4 million Americans in the territories are going to be required to follow federal law and federal mandates, they should certainly have a say in what that federal law says and what those rules are that they have to follow. And I think, we unpack a number of different situations where that highlight how federal decisions impact people's daily lives in Guam and the other territories. And I think the most recent, kind of issues regarding the budget and the impact of changes in federal tax law that have really had a dramatic impact on the local budget and local fiscal stability is just another example of that.
Oh, to be sure. And there are examples of decisions that were made in far, far away offices in Washington, D.C. That have affected the Puerto Ricans. And, the first thing that struck me was, as you highlighted in the press release, the 6-month anniversary of Hurricanes Maria and Irma hitting Puerto Rico and the U.S. Virgin Islands. And as far as I know, that plunged those people back into the dark ages, and there still doesn't seem to be any hope of getting them out. It seems like the preliminary relief efforts happened, and they said, okay, that's it, we're done, and we'll see you later. Good luck.
Yeah, I mean, there's still hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans who don't have power 6 months after the storm.
Right.
And talking with leaders from Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands, you get a strong sense that in the meetings they have with FEMA and other meetings with federal officials, they get the sense that they're being treated differently than when, a congressperson from Florida or Texas has a conversation with those same officials, and that the lack of voting rights has played a significant role in diminishing the federal response that these Americans would otherwise receive.
Let's make that clear. Let's make it clear. Puerto Rico has the same amount of pull in Congress as the island of Guam does. They got a voting delegate, right? Or a non-voting delegate?
They've got a single non-voting delegate.
Yeah.
3.5 million people.
Yeah. So that's the deal. That's the difference between what would normally be happening if it was a state somewhere that had undergone some kind of disaster, where you've got representatives, et cetera, and people that can carry a vote and have a little bit of a little bit more horse trading inventory, if you will, in the halls of Washington, D.C. We got nothing. We get to vote in committee. That's it.
Yeah, and Congressman Bordali is able to make a lot of noise through the committee process and help advocate for Guam. But when it comes to things like the military buildup, it's a complex issue. There's a lot of potential benefits. There's a lot of potential downsides, and most American communities have a full congressional delegation to fight those fights and to make sure that their interests are prioritized. And I think that there's been a number of examples where the people of Guam have certainly felt left out from the process, or kind of given lip service to their concerns, and that when the rubber meets the road, the interests of the people of Guam are not being taken into consideration the same way as perhaps another American community that was going through a similar process but had full political participation and full congressional delegation and being able to vote for president. They tend to get listened to a little bit more than when all you can do, I guess, is vote in the primaries. On Guam, it's just hard to translate that into policies on the ground.
Well, I mean, if it does translate into anything, Neil, it translates to having a little bit of power at an opportune time for politics, but not necessarily for policy coming out of Washington, D.C. And to further underscore just why this is so vital for things like this is we've got issues, as you pointed out, with our budget. And I believe that many of the failings of our fiscal foundation, if you will, have to do with this uneven balance between the federal government, the United States, and Guam, where they are negotiating treaties that involve Guam, but Guam is not allowed to sit at the table. As an example, the Compacts of Free Association, which we should have been a part of so that we can go back to Uncle Fed and talk about the rate of recompense here on Guam to make sure that, hey, listen, we're all about brothers and sisters. Come on in here. Get your education. Get a job. Get some experience. and maybe be a part of the American and the Guamanian dream. But there's a cost that comes with that, for which now the Congresswoman is suggesting that we trade land. Frankly, it's already ours, in order to repay this debt that we'll never get in cash.
Yeah, and I think that's another example, and I think all these issues just show that if there's a common thread that goes through all of this, is that there's an underlying inequality that until that's addressed, you have to use these kind of creative strategies to, like, well, at least maybe we can get something this way, because the alternative is maybe getting nothing.
Well,
we shouldn't be satisfied with either.
Yeah, the alternative is obviously going to have to require a change in the Constitution of the United States. We're going to need to get some kind of amendment going here, are we not?
Yeah, and so that's something else that we have been focused on in the past, and that we're going to be looking ahead to more in the future. There's a number of ways that we're working to address the underlying inequality. First is through court actions like the amicus brief we filed today. Mm-hmm. We're going to be filing some more cases next week, that look to take on the insular cases, which establish this framework of separate and unequal status for the territories. And then beyond that, building on that momentum to address public policy change. And, if that's something that takes a constitutional amendment, I think that's something that the people of Guam and the other territories have earned and deserve. After now almost 120 years as part of the United States, it's time that the relationship between the federal government and citizens living in the territories reflects America's basic principles.
Yep.
And, an acknowledgement that if that's not going to be the case, that the status quo of this inequality is unacceptable, and even looking at options like independence or free association, all of those things should be on the table. That it's not a choice. The United States shouldn't have the choice of either do nothing or treat the people of Guam equally. The people of Guam have some agency as well, and I think that having that be recognized could help move the conversation in Washington along, too.
Well, the problem that I see here is with that second part. Yes, you're right. We do have some agency to be able to develop this conversation a little bit more on our own. But as you know, just from observing all of these years, our difficulties with either funding the Commission on Decolonization, mm-hmm. or really having, the conversation even about getting this thing on a ballot in front of people. We're still in the midst of the Davis case. And so I don't know how that's going to happen. I don't know how we're going to get to a point here on Guam where we finally have the election and a look at all of the different options and a selection of those different options, and then move forward. We've done it before. With the Commonwealth, and we had a constitutional convention, and I don't see why we could not have the discussion about taking the paperwork that we had developed at that time, developing it a little bit more, maybe groove it up in the line, I suppose, with whatever the requirements of Congress are going to be at this time, and say, okay, this is going to be our new Constitution moving forward.
Well, and I think that's one opportunity that this case that we filed an amicus brief in today may help with. This Human Rights Commission actually, about 10 years ago, ruled in favor of residents of the District of Columbia who raised a very similar claim, saying that the relationship between the federal government and the District of Columbia is undemocratic, a violation of these principles of international law, and having a ruling from an international tribunal like this Human Rights Commission is the kind of thing that could help jumpstart the conversation and recognize that there is a problem that needs to be solved both from the federal government's perspective, but also locally to do the things we need to do to move things forward.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta stand on your rock, and you gotta beat your chest, and you gotta beat your feet, and say no more. I'm not going to do this anymore. And we've got the EITC conversations around here every once in a while when times get bad, which is another place where at least this territory is treated differently than anywhere else in the United States in terms of funding. Mm-hmm. And we've got people for whom there aren't working a lot or enough or at all, yet still are able to get significant tax refund checks based on the EITC. My thing, I'd go back to the Gutierrez days and just stop paying it. I'm sorry, we're not going to pay that anymore. And when the federal government comes to us and says, why not, we'll say, because you're not treating us the same. You're not treating us fairly.
Yeah, and those are all kinds of federal mandates that are decisions that are made in Washington that we should have a seat at the table in deciding. And democracy doesn't mean you win every political fight, but at least you have the tools to engage in that in a fair way. And unfortunately for Guam and the other territories, right now they're in a situation of either asking politely, asking indignantly. You can use different strategies to try to get what you want, but when you don't have the basic political tools that other American communities enjoy, you're at a real disadvantage, and it's not a surprise that in policy after policy, example after example, the people of Guam are the ones getting the short end of the stick. Even as I think we can all recognize that there have been a lot of positives to the relationship, but a relationship that's not based on kind of mutual governance and mutual respect is one that inherently is a flawed one. Well, did I need to bring up the Jones Act too? No, I think I'll leave that there. It's 6:58 or so, and so one of the things that I like to do at the end of our conversations is, because there are people that believe in you and want to support you with a little bit more than just saying, "Hey, go Neil." So if they'd like to support you with cash, how do we get some money into the Equally American Fund? I appreciate that, and I always appreciate your support. People can go to our website, www.equallyamerican.org. We'll have a button there to make a tax-deductible contribution. We are a 501c3 organization. So appreciate people's support. Follow us on social media at Equally American. We're also on Facebook. That way you can find the latest of what we're up to. And if you can send some support our way, that's always greatly appreciated. If you can manage to solve a couple of problems that are about $67 million big, we'll be in touch, Counselor. Thanks, Neil Weir. I'll talk to you pretty soon. You're listening to the Ray Gibson Show on The Point. We are KUSG. Had gotten you. Always nice to talk with Neil. I get to see his mom about once a year at a couple of events, and it's a nice thing that we've got in common with each other. Is we're both real proud of the work that he is doing now and the work that he's been doing before. 7 o'clock in the morning. KUSG Hagåtña is the legal name for the radio station. You can just call us The Point. Call us at 888-8255. Coming up next, I've got Fox News Live. We bring it to you from the network headquarters at Fox News. And then on the other side of that, Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post tell you everything that we are talking about, the things that we find to be important and talk-worthy this morning here on The Point.
Live from New York, the Fox Report.
I'm Lisa Brady. Stocks tumble on trade fears. The Dow plunges 724 points, nearly 3%, falling under 24K as the president targets China with new tariffs, prompting concern it could spark a trade war. Fox Business Network's Nicole Pedalini is at the New York Stock Exchange.
Interestingly enough, so often when we have these big sell-offs, they buy them back. I think they're going to watch to see now that we've broken down below some really key technical levels, whether they'll start to buy them back or if it means lower lows.
The S&P and the NASDAQ also losing more than 2%. The new tariffs are aimed at punishing Beijing for stealing U.S. technology. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, the president wants to impose as much as $60 billion in tariffs on China.
The word is reciprocal. That's the word I want everyone to remember.
But this past weekend, dozens of companies and business groups signed a letter to the president saying while they are concerned about China's practices, tariffs aren't the way to go.
You could be talking about serious price increases for just a wide variety of things that Americans buy every day or frequently.
Josh Kalmer with the Information Technology Industry Council says that could get even more dramatic if China retaliates. China's embassy says they don't want a trade war, but they won't recoil from one either, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. China denies the allegations meantime and says it does plan to respond. A cyber attack just confirmed in Atlanta.
The city of Atlanta has experienced a ransomware cyber attack. This attack has encrypted some of the city data. However, we're still validating the extent of the compromise.
The city's chief operating officer, Richard Cox, says applications used to pay bills or check court information are among those affected. They're urging everyone to check bank statements. Fair and balanced.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
Connecticut water treatment customers don't keep coming back. They're satisfied the first time. That's right. Connecticut non-electric water treatment systems take care of your water problems, and you won't need to keep calling us for repairs. Join the list of satisfied Connecticut customers who purchased their non-electric water systems years ago and are still enjoying clean, conditioned water without any hassles from timers or circuit boards.
American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email them at info@americanwatertech.com.
A shakeup on the president's legal team for the Russia probe. As lead lawyer John Dowd resigns, he's been urging against the president having an interview with special counsel Robert Mueller, but didn't mention that specifically in a statement given to Fox News.
Quote, the president has a terrific case, Dowd said, and has proved it to the special counsel Robert Mueller and his team in spades. Dowd defended his weekend statement calling on the Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, who oversees the special counsel investigation led by Mueller, to end it. Dowd said that statement, quote, is no different than what I have told Mueller and his investigators on multiple occasions. I'm so proud of the president's transparency, and how anyone could accuse him of obstruction after the president's extraordinary cooperation is beyond me. And he closed by saying, I love him and wish him well.
Fox's Catherine Herridge, this just days after the president added a former federal prosecutor to his legal team. Neither side gets everything what it wants in the more than $1 trillion spending bill that won House passage today. Fox's Mike Emanuel on Capitol Hill.
It includes almost $655 billion for national defense, nearly $48 billion for homeland security, $21 billion for infrastructure projects, and almost $1.6 billion for barriers and technology on the border. House Speaker Paul Ryan urged his colleagues to support our men and women in uniform.
Vote yes for our military. Vote yes for the safety and the security of this country.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer notes this will end the string of short-term government funding extensions a few weeks at a time.
A very important and significant start to turning the tide around.
The White House budget chief says this plan would have the president's support if the Senate passes it. Tomorrow night's the deadline to avoid a government shutdown. March Madness down to the Sweet 16 beginning tonight. First game featuring number 7 seed Nevada against Loyola of Chicago, an 11th seed, after a bracket-busting opening round that knocked out 9 of the top 16 teams. I'm Lisa Brady on Fox News Radio.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dededo 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
We have those moments in our lives that happen unpredictably. The unexpected instances that we did not really need. Now you can count on us to stay well, pa-pa-da to live well, pa-pa-da to stay well, making sure you stay well. Oh, we'll lift you up when times are low. I'll see how far we'll go at Stay Well.
Stay Well Insurance.
see how far we'll go.
Come out for the 4th annual Chucky Run and Fun 5K, 2K, and Flyaway giveaway. Join us Saturday, April 14th at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Show at 5:30 and go at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, refreshments, and indoor activities after the races. Grand prize drawing for all participants is a trip package for 2 to Manila. Register at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and Group of 4 Super Saver for just $35. The 4th annual Chuck E. Run and Fun 5K, 2K, and Flyaway giveaway. See you there.
Ready to buy real estate on Guam? Congratulations! But what now? There's so many questions, so many things to do. Where do you start? The best place to start is to call Century 21 Commonwealth Realty, Guam's biggest name in real estate. They aren't the best because they're the biggest. They're the biggest because they're the best. Trust the name. Find out why. Call Century 21 Commonwealth Realty today. 888-2121. Trust the best.
Did you know over 80% of all vision impairments can be prevented or cured? Naval Academy and Johns Hopkins University graduate Dr. Peter Lombard has performed thousands of sight-saving procedures in Guam since 2010. He specializes in cataract surgery and can treat your diabetic eye disease, glaucoma, and much more. From simple vision exams to complex surgery, Lombard Health proudly accepts all insurance. Call today to book an appointment at 989-4747. Guam's best eye care, one patient at a time.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. A corrupt former customs lieutenant will take the stand again today in the meth trial of Raymond Martinez and Juanita Mosier. Henry Alvendia is the government's star witness in the case against the couple who are accused of conspiring with Alvendia to smuggle 8 pounds of meth into Guam. Alvendia is testifying in hopes of getting a lighter sentence after he admitted that he accepted bribes and committed fraud while working at Guam Customs. He testified yesterday for much of the day that Martinez and Moser asked him about moving drugs into Guam hidden in the vehicles they were shipping to the island. He claimed he told them he didn't want to get involved in drugs, and he turned a blind eye to their plans. Defense attorney David Lujan attacked Alvendia's credibility, calling him the most corrupt customs officer in the history of Guam. The trial resumes this morning in district court. Governor Calvo said he will submit the fiscal realignment plan to the legislature today. It's one of the requirements in the new tax law. Submission of the plan triggers implementation of the temporary 25% increase in the business privilege tax, which on April 1st will rise 1 percentage point from 4 to 5%. The plan does not have to be approved by the legislature. Calvo said the plan details $30 million in budget cuts, which is also required by the new tax law, and it ensures that there will be no further cuts to the Department of Education's budget. He said Guam DOE already identified roughly $12 million in cuts, and that's it, he said. They won't have to cut any more. However, the governor did warn that all other agencies will have to sacrifice, although he said they're trying to give some stability to public safety agencies such as the police department and fire department, as well as public health. We'll have more news after this.
Hey, it's your stomach again. Subway has all new signature wraps, and around the water cooler, the other stomachs can't stop talking about them. Chipotle Southwest steak and cheese, turkey, bacon, and guac, rotisserie-style chicken Caesar signature wraps. Listen, if I'm honest, as a talking stomach, I don't have a lot of life experience. But I do know one thing. These signature wraps are jam-packed with meat. So what are you waiting for? I'm growling over here. Subway. Make it what you want.
We can't buy this house.
What?
It has 4 bathrooms. Just think of all the bathtub rings, water spots, and stains, plus the cleaning products I'll have to buy.
Didn't I tell you? The house comes with a non-electric Connecticut water treatment system. We'll have clean, soft water throughout the house, protect the water-using appliances, keep the tub, showers, and sinks looking like new, and help our skin, hair, and clothes look and feel great, too. The house even includes a Connecticut drinking water system.
A Connecticut system in the house? We'll take it.
American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water. Call American Water Tech, 649-2301, or email info@americanwatertech.com.
News time at The Point is 11 minutes past 7 a.m. Governor Calvo has accused Senators Michael San Nicolas and Regine Bisco-Lee of being inexperienced and irresponsible for introducing bills that seek to roll back or limit the 2% sales tax passed by the legislature last week. On Monday, Bisco-Lee introduced a bill that would exempt groceries, medicine, diapers, and other items from the new sales tax. And last week, immediately after passage of the sales tax bill, San Nicolas introduced a law to repeal it. It's a nice political soundbite, said the governor yesterday. He said it's very irresponsible, however, for Senators San Nicolas and Lee to introduce bills like this. Calvo suggested that the senators' youth and inexperience in governments and policymaking led them to introduce their bills. He challenged the senators to find substitutes for the funding that their proposals would take away from the new tax law. A groundbreaking ceremony was held yesterday for the widening of Route 3 to make room for more traffic along the main road to the future Marine Corps base in Finnegadson. The $44 million project was awarded to Black Construction. It's being funded entirely by Department of Defense funds. A 3-mile stretch of the existing 2-lane roadway will be expanded to a 4-lane divided highway starting from about 600 feet south of Route 28 up to Chalancareta. The Chalancareta intersection will include a new main gate entrance into the future Marine base. The project slated for completion by January 2020. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray with some weather, maybe.
I got it. Fire weather watches in effect through Saturday afternoon for Guam. A dry season weather pattern remains firmly in place, which is why we're getting so many grass fires. It's the heat and the dry. Partly cloudy with isolated showers. Winds east up to about 20 miles an hour, increasing up to about 25 miles an hour on Sunday. Expected daytime highs 88 degrees and overnight lows of about 76 degrees. Sunset tonight, 6:32. Studio time is 7:12 here on The Point.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at King's for 40 years, serving Guam favorites, and you know which ones they are, to families just like yours, and you know which one that is, too. Always open, always local, King's Restaurants.
At GTA, we believe you deserve better than home internet with hidden data fees. That's why all our internet plans are unlimited, because binging movies in bed shouldn't make you want to hide under the covers when the bill arrives. So the choice is yours. Bill shock with the other guys? Or a life unlimited with GTA? Say goodbye to hidden data fees and make the switch today. GTA, your island, your network.
Hey, you buying a house? Selling a house? Maybe you're selling an entire chancery. What? Hey, I'm just trying to draw the headlines into, our big stories and couple them up with the advertiser deals.
What would I do if I were selling a chancery?
First thing I'd do is I'd call security title. I would call security title because, everybody says, it goes back to this guy and a donation that he made back to in the 50s. Yeah. Well, how do we know? You know how you know? Security title. They know where all of the documents are kept, and they'll find out whether or not you own the chancery you're trying to sell.
Every time I travel, there's something from home that I can't leave without. I take my Docomo Pacific Data to Go to share my stories in Taiwan, check subway routes in Tokyo, be my food guide in Hong Kong, meet new friends in the Philippines, make updates in the States, find my way around Korea, and check out all the cool shows in Singapore. It's the data I have in all the places I love for only $10 a day. Data to Go from Docomo Pacific. Better together.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
this a happy moment. Mo Cotton finally heard his ad for Century 21. Okay, let's play it 3 or 4 more times. Just make sure everybody else gets a chance to hear it as well. Good morning, Bobby Schring, and Deanna Palmer is there, and my buddy Carlo is on. Hey, Carlo, do me a favor. Give me a ring in a little bit. If I can't get a hold of Beej, I want to be able to talk to you about whether that hole, as the Daily Post suggests, is another $20 million deeper than what we thought. Another $20 million greater than the 67, and what is that going to mean for headlines and talk radio conversations in the next little bit? So there is that. And the other thought in my head is I know where the Skyline restaurant pub thing is. I got it. You know what it took? Is somebody had to give it to me in terms of the Pizza Hut. See, you were talking about the Bank of Guam.
Right.
And they got branches all over the place. I don't know.
Yeah, Bank Pacific.
Right.
That guy.
Yeah. So, but no. It's up from there, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's not there. It's the intersection. It would be catty corner and then some from there.
Okay.
There's a Pizza Hut.
I got it. Yeah, seen that one.
Next time, just tell me where the pizza thing is.
Okay.
So give me directions based on where the pizza places are, and I will know. That place.
See, I'm new here. I'm still not used to the acceptable landmarks.
No. Well, in this case, it is what I thought it was. It is the place that I thought it was. But like I said, if you need to narrow it down to make sure that I know exactly where you're talking about, give it to me in terms of where the nearest pizza place is, and I'll get it. Pizza Hut down a corner, and it's across the street. Okay, I know where that is. Right? There's a Domino's over there. Pieology,
right,
etc.
Yep.
Okay, you can do the same thing with KFCs if you like. So 7:17 in the morning, and let's take a quick look at what happened on the market. All of them shedding points today, every single one of them. Why? Because Donald Trump is getting tough with China. Yeah, there's going to be punditry on either side. Go find your position based on who it is that you go to for this stuff. But I'll give you the straight numbers here. Dow Jones Industrial Average closed almost 3 points down, 724.42 points. And that's as big as I've seen it since about 2008. 23,950, rounded up to 8, is where they're going to be starting business tomorrow. The NASDAQ at 7166, off by almost 200 points there, another 2.43% for them. 2.5% down for the S&P 500. That only accounts for about 68 points, but it's there. 2,643. If you're wondering if everybody else is also in the red, not necessarily. The Nikkei is up by 211 points, 21,591 for them right now, and Shanghai. I'm trying to think. Hold on a second. They might not be open yet. So it's possible that when the Nikkei opens later on, they will open and do a major sell-off. We'll see what happens. Shanghai is down by 17 points, but again, I think those markets are closed as well.
It makes sense the Nikkei would go up because if we're going to not do as much business with China anymore, we will probably start doing more business with Japan again.
Well, and that also move the trade deficit from changes the numbers between China and Japan.
Right.
And remember that Japan still does a lot of business with China. Heck, Taiwan does a lot of business with China through Japan. Crazy the way that works. A bit of a U.S. dollar against the Japanese yen, 105. So the yen is actually getting stronger, demonstrably stronger as we look here. So the big stories, obviously, the Dow is off more than 700 points based on those trade fears, and Trump slaps China with tariffs on up to $60 billion in imports. And he says, look, this is just the beginning. There are going to be some more. So watch out for it. And so what's my view on this, personally? My view is buy on the dips. When people are running away from the market, this is when you need to be running towards the market. And what's sexy out there? What's sexy? You know who's going through an IPO?
Tell me.
Dropbox.
Oh.
Do you use Dropbox?
I do.
Yeah. So they're going through it. Yeah, it's like $21 for the initial offering in the IPO. I like Dropbox, and we use Dropbox quite heavily around here to move files around, to share files, which is absolutely great. And it is my terabyte in the cloud. I pay extra for the space so that I never have to worry. And if I've got it on Dropbox, that means I have it on every computer and computing platform that I have. So if you sent me a file and I don't happen to be in front of my computer, you put it on the Dropbox, I can listen to it or watch it on my phone, on my tablet, on my Surface that I've got in front of me. Very, very cool. Dropbox pricing at $21 a share. Get a hold of whoever it is that you buy stocks with and make sure that you guys can get in on this, because I think that's going to be a great price for them opening up. 719. The only other numbers that I haven't had a chance to look at just yet, and I will after the Extra Point with Jerry Roberts, let you know what's happening with the oil commodities.
It's one of the simplest principles in supervising workers, but most managers get it wrong. Shame on you if you're one of them. That's coming right now on the Extra Point. Gather round, boys and girls. It's story time. Uncle Jerry wants to tell you about a boss he once had who would yell at him. Sometimes it was because of a mistake or something the boss thought was a mistake. The boss would see Uncle Jerry in a group of other workers and come up to him and shout at him right in front of everyone. This made Uncle Jerry very sad because nobody likes to be yelled at, especially in front of their coworkers. Then maybe an hour or two would pass and Uncle Jerry would be told to come to the manager's office. Ooh, what would happen now? The boss told him he was sorry that he yelled and that he was wrong about the situation and wrong in how he handled it. But Uncle Jerry looked around and didn't see any of his coworkers who had been there when the boss had yelled at him. It was just him and the boss. None of the others heard the boss apologize. As far as they knew, Uncle Jerry was still in trouble and the boss had chewed him out. This happened several times. The boss yelled and criticized him in public and then very often apologized in private. Punish publicly, apologize privately. Uncle Jerry thought, you know, there's something wrong with that picture. And there was. You see, the boss had it all backwards. It's supposed to be punish privately. No matter how mad you might get, always invite the other person to the office or somewhere else where it's just the two of you. Then calmly discuss the issue. One more thing, boys and girls. If you do make a mistake and yell at someone in front of their coworkers, the right thing to do is to apologize to the person in front of the same coworkers. If the group is not still in the same place, then you take the time to invite them all to your office and apologize to the person with all of them watching. Now, it might be a little embarrassing to do that, but your workers will trust you if you do. That's the Extra Point. Get out there and make something good happen today. For 93.3 and the Ray Gibson Story Hour, I'm Uncle Jerry.
You remember back when it was the J.Q. Finney time? He used to have a character named the Story Lady, and they're almost the same music bed on that, but without so much of the moral thing, right? Yeah, but it was a little bit more on the jokey side. I like that. That's a good one. For a transcript, I don't know if we'll have the music bed behind it. Go to GuamTraining.com and the World Wide Web. Outstanding work there, Mr. Roberts. So West Texas crude trading this morning at $64.21. And the bad news is that Tapas is up, and it's up big, $68.86 for a barrel of Tapas. That's up by 70+ cents on the barrel. Once they refine that, trust me, they take a lot more than that 70 cents additional and pass that along to the customers. That's going to have an impact sooner than later, I think, on what's happening with fuel for your car. So if you haven't filled up yet, just telling you right now. I was looking at mine. I was on 16th of a tank yesterday. I'm not that bad. An eighth of a tank yesterday. And then I thought, maybe I'll put some gas in it tomorrow. And the more I thought about it, I said, tomorrow, because we need that headline. Right. We need the headline that the gas is going up somewhere. Sure. So it's just a matter of time, any second now.
Do you wait?
So I put gas in the car last night.
Okay. Do you wait till the little gas tank comes on, the little gas pump on the, that tells you,
Yeah, that's what it's for. That's the. I challenge myself. That to me is a challenge. How many additional miles can I get once the little light comes on?
That's right.
Right, and so in the car right now, and the people over at Honda are going to get crazy about this and say, "Just bring it in, Ray. Just bring it in." No, actually, I'm up the street from you guys. Come and get it. Is it's got a thing that shows up. That says that the car is now due for maintenance.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I had that on the Toyota that I'm selling on Guam, selling everything on Facebook, by the way. So I had that on the Toyota, but it just said it just would come up and say, maintenance required.
Right.
So the Honda Ridgelines now are a little bit more aggressive. It will tell you how many miles you have been driving since the vehicle needed maintenance.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I'm waiting for
like
that.
a guilt trip.
And the cool thing is it's on the color monitor, right? So I'm waiting for the color monitor to start flashing, right, and strobing. like okay,
red alert, red
we
alert.
thought we'd get you by just telling you needed maintenance. We thought we'd get you by telling you how many miles you've been driving since you've needed maintenance. And now I'm waiting for, because I'm pretty sure there's one more thing after that they do.
Of course.
I don't know what it is.
My check engine light's been on for a little while. Parked yesterday and popped open a hood and looked under it, and the engine's still there. The light's still on. So I don't know.
Isn't there a button you can press? Where's the button the mechanics press to make that go away? 7:26 in the morning, and that's the Extra Point with Jerry Roberts. We got to take a look at what's happening on the roads after this.
Special things only come around once a year, and it's time for fish fans to celebrate the return of Wendy's Cod Filet Sandwich. Wendy's uses the gold standard for fried fish, wild-caught Northern Pacific cod, breaded with panko crumbs to a light crisp. Add a new creamy dill tartar sauce and crisp pickles, and you've got the fish sandwich many say is the best of the bunch. Get yours today at Wendy's, located in Tamuning, Barragata, Agana, Dededo, and Naval Base. Wendy's Cod Filet. Now that's better.
Why are we still running the commercial for the cod fillet? Aren't we supposed to be doing the commercial for the mushroom deal?
We're doing both. Yeah, they're still doing both. Still
I want to do one for that. I want to do the commercial for the, because I had that last night.
Did you?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
How many thumbs up would you give it?
Well, I don't have enough thumbs. Look, anybody knows me knows I like my burgers, right? You know I love my burgers, and they've got this one with the mushrooms and the onion tangles on the inside that is so good, the Asiago cheese. And I forget what the name is. It potato bread that they're using on that?
I believe it is.
With fry, you have that with some fries on the side and a lemonade. Oh my God, that was good. That was my dinner last night. And if I had my way, I'd make it breakfast this morning. 7:27. And a quick look at traffic. It's Friday morning at 7:30, and there's going to be traffic where you are. The spot that looks like it is the heaviest right now in the gizmos that I look at is northbound on Marine Corps Drive. Looks like that turn trying to get into Route 3 is slowing everybody down right now. Whether they're turning or not, I don't know. But I will tell you again that northbound traffic up through there is slowing down. A little bit of a buildup on Marine Corps Drive southbound and into that intersection from Route 3. Everything else is looking exactly the way it's supposed to at 7:30 or so in the morning on Friday.
Wendy's welcomes the new Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger, featuring smoky sautéed portobello mushrooms, melted Asiago cheese, crispy applewood smoked bacon, and crunchy fried onions atop a juicy beef patty. For those craving the same great taste, Wendy's Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato is also loaded with sautéed portobello mushrooms, cheddar cheese sauce, and crispy applewood smoked bacon. Here for a limited time, get a delicious Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger and Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato today. Wendy's. Now that's better.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
I'm in the middle of a fascinating story from the Pacific Standard, and I got to say thanks very much to my buddy John Thomas for sending this over to me and alerting it. A small snake is destroying Guam's wild. Are you ready for it? It's pretty much everything. The snakes have destroyed everything here. They're like pit bulls with no arms and legs. They just get through everything. Did I tell you we got a couple of pits at the house? It just absolutely destroyed the front yard. I had this outdoor lounge set, right, with little pillows. Underscore the hat.
Chewed it all up.
Oh yeah, I came home the other day. It looked like a blizzard because it had all of this stuffing come out of the pillow. I think what they call in customs sham. I think that's where they get that from. Yeah. Anyway, so the great story here. The small snake is destroying Guam's wild chili plants. Now, I'm a big fan of Doniceli. I've got the tree in the backyard and have a long relationship with it ever since the time that I realized that I can handle spicy. And for me, there is something about Doni that has the right kind of hot on it without destroying your mouth so that you can't taste anything else. I mean, you can get it that hot, but the point is that the brown tree snakes here, because of the proliferation of the tree snakes and them eating all of these Mariana's starlings, there aren't any starlings here to go and find the wild chilies and then eat those and then poop out the seeds while they're flying to make more plants.
So that's how it's done.
That's how it's done. And you might be going, well, that's okay because Grandma's got a plant in the backyard, right? Or down at the Lancero, we've got 50 plants. According to the scientists here, the wild plants are better. And you might be able to find, there might be a couple of guys here that are listening that will be able to point out the difference in between the plants that are raised in somebody's backyard versus the ones that you've got to schlep a couple of miles into the jungle to go get. And here on Guam, it's a couple of miles to go get, whereas in the other islands where there are no brown tree snakes, you walk into the boondocks for a couple of minutes and bang, there you go. There's your wild and spicier chili plants. So that's what I've been reading up on this morning. 7:32. We got to do headlines now from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam News Time. Here at the point is 32 minutes past 7 a.m. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, Public Auditor Doris Flores Brooks has received a letter from the Guam Election Commission about a possible violation of election law. Brooks said the letter was very broad and she's seeking clarification from the Election Commission. Until she officially responds to the letter, the public auditor said she could not comment further. Guam election law restricts the use of campaign contributions and what those contributions can be spent on. The Guam Election Commission charged with enforcing those restrictions. GEC Executive Director Maria Pangilinan telling the Guam Daily Post that campaign expenditures are supposed to be strictly for services and goods related to the campaign. Guam Memorial Hospital Administrator Peter John Camacho says paychecks for all employees will be issued as scheduled on time this afternoon. 2 weeks ago on payday morning, a memo was issued to all GMH employees warning of a possible delay in issuing those paychecks after Chief Financial Officer Benita Manglonia told the hospital board the night before that only $600,000 was left in the payroll account. That was about $2.3 million short. Camacho said that won't happen today, but Governor Calvo was not so confident. Yesterday, he said it'll be tough to make payroll today for all GovGuam employees. He pointed out that the first revenues from the new tax legislation won't come in until May 20th. So for the next couple of months, it's going to be hairy, he said. Island pet lovers planning an off-island trip will have to leave their pets behind if they're planning to fly United in the next few months. United Airlines has temporarily suspended its pet transportation program following a series of mishaps on United flights last week. Suspension of the program has caused some problems, especially for military service members on island. Joint Region Marianas is working to find an alternative option on other military transport services that are currently available in other parts of the world, but not yet available here on Guam. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
iConnect time in the studios of The Point is 7:34. iConnect. Hop on over and receive a free gift and automatic entry to win an iPhone 10 with every new 12-month plan from now until Easter at iConnect.
Yes, money is something we should talk about and plan for and use to make life better. It's how we make our giant leap from where we are to where we want to be. So let's talk together and work together to to check off shiny new kitchens, fully nested dorm rooms, and bucket lists with more countries than our passports can hold. Let's check them all off together. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
Join the most excellent of egg hunts. Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is holding their annual indoor egg hunts on Tuesday, March 27th from 3 to 7 p.m. Pre-register for the right age group in one of the 4 egg hunts per hour. Bring your baskets to hunt those eggs. Stay and play for the best experience. Call 647-4544 to register or stop in the restaurant. And sign up. Excellent egg hunts at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
There is the Gizmo looking back at me and telling me that we might see some traffic slowdowns in a few of the usual spots. Told you northbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive, right up until you get to the intersection of Route 3. And it should clear up for you right after that. Not so much southbound. Still seeing some congestion build through there at 7:35 in the morning. And then you've got Route 16. And isn't that the most fun route there is? Looks like there might be a little bit of a slowdown over by Malakuti's place. I'm not sure why it does that about every morning, but it does. Up out of Tumon on Santos Hill towards Marine Corps Drive. A little bit of a snag on that south left, that turn that will take you south. And where is this one? Where is that? Okay. And between 3 Squares and St. Anthony School, headed upwards towards the old hospital, you might see some congestion through there because it's time to take the kids to school. Me, 6:37, and that's traffic on the point.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Are you waiting too long for a home loan decision? Are you looking for a bank that understands your needs and can close your loan quickly at today's super low rates? Then come no further than Bank Pacific. Our home loan specialists are friends and neighbors from your community, and our decisions are made right here in Hagåtña. Bank Pacific, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply. Viva Bank Pacific.
Prayers to Will Castro. We wanted to talk to Will about the AS400, which is one of the stories that I've been chasing around for the last couple of days. The fact that it is 2018 already, and we're well into this new century, but unfortunately stuck with working with technology that goes back to the 1980s to keep track of finances and reporting in the government of Guam. And unfortunately, we're unable to get him on the line, and his message that his mother is in the intensive care unit. So we send our best wishes and prayers to him that they've got the strength to make it through here. 7:38 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-8255 if you want to get a hold of me. Interesting how everything is connected, isn't it? Where you've got President Trump in Washington, D.C., and it looks like there could be as big an impact on what happens around here as there was with the Dow Jones here, off by 700-plus points here as a result of his announcement that they're going to play tough with China and put some tariffs in place. And as I said, everything is connected. Kenley N. Guerrero says, reports are South Korean economists are predicting job losses at just under $500,000 as sub-assembly export trade with China slows as a result of the U.S. tariffs on China exports. So if the Asian bird flu and North Korean missile threats hammering Guam tourism weren't bad, what is the slowdown in the South Korean economy going to be like? And it's not as though it used to be everything was designed it, and we'd put the manufacturing process together in Japan, send that to Taiwan, send that to mainland China, and they'd be able to do all of the assembly in those places, put it on a ship, and get it to the United States for far cheaper than it would cost for Americans to do it, right? But the problem now is that it's not just South Korea that's going to be infected with this, because a lot of guys are doing sub-assembly and then shipping it back up to China and then distribution to the rest of the world. So think about it. Vietnam, I want to say Singapore, Manila, I'm sure has their fair share of that kind of thing. The Philippines have that kind of thing. So I wonder what the pressure is going to be on some of these other blossoming Asian economies as a result of this Chinese tariff. I mean, you get somebody as big as China gets a cold, everybody else is going to get the sniffles, right? I hope it doesn't put everybody in the hospital. My buddy Carlo Branch is on the line. Good morning, Carlo.
Boy, you really know how to ruin a good morning.
Sorry about that. Hey, I don't have a great connection on your phone. I don't hear you very well.
I thought we had this solved. Is that a little better?
It's not great. I don't know. Go by a window or something like that, so you're a little bit closer to the receiver side. You know what it is? It's FM, and people can hear a crappy phone better on FM than they can on AM.
I'll remember that. We'll install a landline just for you.
Yes, just install a landline for me, or we'll do something on Skype. But maybe just speak slower then as we get through this. I got a copy, because BJ sent it to me, of the Consolidated Revenue Expenditure Report. And when he and I were talking about it on the air, he had indicated that the numbers are, in fact, as bad as the guys over at the brainiacs over at the governor's office and his economic people said they would be for February. And so I wanted to make sure that I was reading the right parts of this in order to further the conversation. And that is that the February numbers are, in fact, off by about $7 million year over year from last year. Is that a big point in this report?
Yes and no. So the answer is yes, the CRER indicates that the revenue losses are going to be around the $65 to $67 million mark. As the Post reported, based on a letter that the Speaker sent in January, when the January CRER, or in advance of the January CRER, the losses are a little bit understated because of the way revenue is being recognized in that report. Long story short, they're recognizing $20 million more in income tax collections than the auditor said that they should, because of the way the additional child tax credit is reimbursed and then repaid out. So it should net against the provision for tax refunds. It shouldn't be counted as revenue. But this came up with the previous director of DOA, and she said they run budgets, and that's how they'll recognize it, and it's just an administrative call. So to answer your question directly, yes, the CRER validates that cash collections are not what everybody would like them to be. Probably speaking, the hole is bigger than the CRER itself indicates.
Right. And so depending on how those dollars are booked, one side will book them as revenue, another one will book them as a deficit.
It's a little more technical than that. It's just where.
Yeah, but I can't be that. I can't be much more technical on the radio. I got to dumb it down for me.
Yeah, but in simple terms, yeah.
Okay, all right. So in simple parlance, that's what it was. Now I noted that one of the reasons why the fund revenues were down in February of 2018 versus February of 2017 was because we didn't get a $6 million Section 30 payment. Everybody saw that, right? I'm not the only one.
Nope, you're not the only one.
Okay.
The line that you're looking at, the increase in federal sources. So when you kind of have to break it out by sections, which the CRER does a good job of doing, right? If you're looking at tax sources in, then you show a pretty large deficit both in monthly collections and year over year. If you look at the absolute bottom line, you see that number gets a little better, but it only gets a little better because of spikes in prior collections in sources that you didn't normally anticipate, right? So that could be, depending on which line it is, it could be reconciliation of Section 30. It could have been some unanticipated windfall. What a lot of people don't recall, I know you do, is that Section 30, the amount that we get on Section 30 is based on a formula, and DRT submits a projected amount to Section 30 every year. That amount is paid over in advance of the coming fiscal year, and then it is trued up over time. So when Treasury takes a look at it and says, based on your formula, we underpaid you last year or for the last 3 years, they will true it up and they'll say, okay, based on our underpayment, we actually owe you $15 million more. Unfortunately, that sometimes works reverse. During the Camacho administration, at several points, they said, guess what, we overpaid you.
Right, and so we're not going to be getting that money. I do recall that happened. I do recall that happened a couple of times.
Yeah, so you owe us $25 million. We'll take $5 million a year over the next 5 years.
Yep.
Sometimes it's just luck of the draw. It depends on which side of the coin you fall.
Kevin had a thought?
Yeah, Carlo, is it accurate that the Trump corporate tax cuts do not take effect until the 2019 fiscal year, that they're not in effect now? Is that right?
You and I were speaking about that
the other day. Yeah,
we were speaking about that before, and I'm going to defer to some of the more technical guys. I believe that the corporate tax rates, you won't see the full impact of them until tax year 19 in collections.
I see.
The reason why I'm asking is that they're the largest, and how could our shortfall be so high if the corporate tax cuts haven't really kicked into the full amount yet? I mean, what's causing the 67 million or 87 million shortfall if we're still getting those corporate income tax payments as we were last year?
Because the withholding isn't that big a number. It's not off that far.
Yeah, if you look at that, it'll show that in January
1.6 mil.
that it was up over last year.
Yeah, I mean, Ricky at OFB will have a better hand on it, but I'm 90% certain that the corporate tax rates, the reduction is in effect. I think when we have had them, we generally say that the full impact of those collections won't be felt over a full year until we actually begin to see the drop in collections. Right now, we're tracking based on estimates what the shortfall will be. The hope is that if you lose it in corporate, you pick it up in withholding because people are paying higher wages, or
GRT
because there's more spend. But nobody's really able to calculate the effect of this economic fear that we have both on the government side and on the private sector side. I would imagine that if you're a private sector guy hearing every day that either taxes are going to go up, there's a lot of uncertainty. And the private sector doesn't do well with uncertainty. It can do well with a lot if it has time to adjust. But if it is not certain about what the business environment is going to look like, it generally contracts its spending.
Oh.
And then if you're a government employee and you hear that there's a 32-hour work week coming, or you don't know what the new administration's fiscal policy is going to be, I hear from people in the public sector that everybody is beginning to save money, which is probably a good thing, but probably not a great thing from a macro economy standpoint.
All right. Well, I've gotten to a point where I think the conversation here, just the quality of the audio is not good enough to sustain. And so I'm sure that there's going to be some more questions. We'll try it again when you're on a landline from the office, maybe?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be today. We just, but I do want to chew on this because there were a couple of other questions, and the other part of the CRER that we look at here talks about provisions for tax refunds, and there were more than one or two people on the chat yesterday that were asking about the nature of that, and I said, listen, I got to get my head around the whole report before I can talk about that, but I can't do that unless I can understand every word you're saying. So, Carlo, we'll talk again, all right?
Okay.
At 7:48 in the morning, my name is Ray, and on the telephone line, Ken Leon Guerrero. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning.
How you doing there?
I'm doing fine, and I caught your little recital of the quote I posted, and I wish that was the worst of it, but it's really not. Last year, I started looking at the International Monetary Fund reports, and Thailand, India, Indonesia, Malaysia, Australia, New Zealand, Hong Kong, Singapore, Taiwan, South Korea, Japan, and China are all on watch for potential recession.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at China, and this is what's kind of funny, their debt ratio is 270 to the U.S. is 103. So it's like the Chinese are issuing bonds to buy U.S. bonds. At some point in time, the Ponzi scheme has to collapse, And when it does, the fact that so many countries in Asia are tied into subassembly exports to China, and with this tariff and more to come, according to the Trump administration, slowing down trade between the U.S. and China, then the domino effect kicks in, and just right off the bat, just with the steel, the South Korean economy is predicting 460 job loss.
Yeah. So based on that one, we haven't started talking about any of the subassembly work that they do.
Yeah, but we haven't talked about the impact in Japan, the Philippines, Taiwan, Indonesia, other areas that we depend on some of our tourism from. So that's another reason why we should be concerned, because if somebody stops buying Chinese bonds, I haven't figured out who's buying Chinese bonds yet, because they're issuing money. They're issuing bonds to raise money to buy U.S. bonds.
Mm-hmm.
Who's buying the Chinese bonds?
Well, I'm sure they're out there in some dragon fund somewhere, but as we said, there is the cascading effect here. We've already seen just what happens in the markets, and as I said, my guess is that when Shanghai opens, when the Nikkei opens this morning, those guys are all going to take a serious plunge, because all of these, everybody's going to be looking at the same thing that you are looking at. And what's the sustainability here if we get ourselves right up to a trade war with China? It will be interesting when we start seeing what happens as shipping begins to roll back a little bit in this part of the world, because we're just not sending as many parts to get assembled, and we're not sending assembled subassemblies back to China to make iPhones, right?
Well, the last time I looked, there was something like 246 container ships sitting idle in ports, waiting for cargo.
Yeah. Well, you remember...
to see if that number has changed.
You remember once upon a time there used to be a couple other, was it Horizon lines? That we used to have, and Horizon's a good example of what happened, and that wasn't even a major change in the way they did business in China. There's just the cost of having factories near the ports had changed the cost of the goods that were coming out of there, and all of a sudden there was a drastic reduction in shipping, and Horizon couldn't afford to be sending ships back and forth between here and there, and they pulled out the market. I've obviously oversimplified that for the Friday morning listener, but that was among the reasons why that was no longer a viable route for them, because they just weren't getting enough business going from China to the West Coast. They were looking for different, cheaper ports, and Horizon wasn't servicing those. So there are going to be issues with shipping. I imagine that there might be some issues with airlines, and then these individual economies. And it's not just South Korea. They tell me that Vietnam is doing a whole lot of that sub-assembly business. There's
exports from Taiwan are 16 months in a row. So that's affecting the Taiwanese economy big time as well.
And it will obviously, as those economies begin to tremble a little bit, it's going to affect what happens here on Guam with these numbers that we're seeing of South Korean tourists. And didn't we just get word? In fact, in today's Daily Post, a story about China Airlines wanting to kick up the number of flights between here and there. Let's hope they're committed fully to that plan, so we don't make any changes based on anything Trump did.
Yeah. Well, it's a very delicate balancing act that we have to do. And as government of Guam, they need to be looking at a lot of other factors than they're looking at right now, because, this wholesale, chainsaw approach to the Guam economy, in the states that might work, where the government economy is only like 6 to 10%. Hawaii has the largest at 13. We're at 48. Puerto Rico, government expenditures are only 9% of their economy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why when they look at how the little changes in a 9% are affecting the rest of the economy, just imagine when we start making wholesale changes on a 48% spend.
And that's why sometimes people are of the opinion that maybe the government of Guam is too big to fail.
It's not that it's too big to fail. I mean, all we have to do is look at Illinois. The state of Illinois is on the verge of bankruptcy, and they're a lot bigger than Guam. So it's just that we need to be better dancers than the senators in the state of Illinois.
Well, and that's why I think I'm going to make it my quest. I will add this to the Ray Gibson Show quests. And anybody that's listened for a long time knows what they are. One of them is to eliminate that god-awful, butt-ugly chain-link fence in between JFK and Kmart. I want to get rid of that. I think it's ugly. I think it does a disservice to what should be the entrance, the alleyway, if you will, into our pleasure islands, our resort facility. It looks like we've got a prison fence up right in the middle of the frickin' median. We got to get rid of that thing.
Are you going to be handing out smart pills to the students at JFK? Because I have seen students trying to climb the fence as it is.
No, there needs to be an adult out there, maybe an adult in a police uniform every day. No, not every day. Not every day. Just every once in a while. No, I don't want to tase the kids because they're lawsuits. I'm just saying, get somebody out there on a random basis so the kids never know when there might be a cop waiting for them on the other side, and actually give them a citation for jaywalking and walking through traffic. I've seen it too. So I'm just saying that.
Balance the government of Guam budget just on jaywalkers from JFK.
Oh, we could balance the government of Guam budget just on people using their cell phones while they're driving, but I don't want to say anything about that because I'm the worst culprit. So just having said, so we'll make that my other quest of the program is to get our computer systems out of the 1980s.
Hey, you won't get any argument from me on that one because I have seen what happens when businesses go from we're not going to change it because it's paid for to how much more efficient and how much more profitable they become when they finally do bite the bullet. And that's what it's going to take. It's going to take the pain of not changing being greater than the pain of changing before government of Guam will do it. And maybe a slowdown in the Korean economy that hammers tourism even more, forcing government of Guam to look for more savings might be the tipping point.
We'll see what happens. I'll talk to you pretty soon, Ken. Have an outstanding weekend. See you down in Molesso. 7:56, couple of minutes left. I got time for Bob Kelly. Good morning, Bob.
Very, very good. Thank you. Very quick. The way you solve the problem of the fence is to work with Public Works to replace it with a dense flowering shrub about 3 feet high, preferably with some thorns on it. People won't cross the street. It'll be very pretty and solves the problem.
It's been up there for so long, and I've been belly aching about it for so long. It seems to me that I'm the only one that sees it as a problem.
I agree, but I agree with you. I wonder why they don't put a nice little, shrub along there. They're a nice shrub. That I know you've seen them. They're used for separating property. Just a nice flowering shrub that looks pretty, nice and green with some flowers on it. Be nice with some thorns. People won't cross the street.
Let's put those on all of the medians where we have dirt, so we don't have these guys out there that are pretending to be sick and trying to bum money from motorists.
Keave will grow here.
Yeah. So I'm just there's 1,001 things that we could do, but apparently, as I said, somebody's got to recognize that it is a problem.
Let's push with GVB and Public Works to replace fences with shrubs.
Or pretty big pieces of concrete that say stay away. Or in the very least, somebody out there with some authority over the students that feel the need to park their car across the street over at Kmart and run over at the end of the day. Look, you have to.
Shrubbery's less expensive and prettier than somebody standing out there. It's a natural obstacle. I really believe shrubs with some thorns is the answer.
All right. Can we have snakes with venoms? Can we do that?
Run an electric current through it?
Current. A current. That's the idea. about 100. That doesn't even need to be any more. What is it?
But then we got to pay for the signs telling them there's a
volts?
current here. Don't touch it or you're going to die.
Yeah. Well, and then there's the idea, and I don't know why we don't pursue something like this. Why don't we have a big elevated crosswalk that goes across the way from both sides? So from over by Mesclados up and then down into Kmart, from over the JFK intersection up and then down.
But we don't want to use the same company that built the Florida.
Oh my God! Oh my God! And did you hear that they're also involved in the elevated rail system in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure.
You heard that they've had another bridge problem somewhere else?
Yep, I'll bet you they're doing tests on those things right now. I got to break away because our Fox News is coming up next. There's my partner, Bob Kelly, talking about shrubbery. It's 8 o'clock in the morning on KUSG Agana.
The Dow takes a dive. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Sanctions on products and investments from China triggering the sell-off.
Stocks tumbled on worries about a trade war. Fed uncertainty as rates are on the rise. Changes in Washington and Facebook. Still a worry here on Wall Street. Here's a look at the numbers. The Dow Jones Industrial Average down 724 points, 23,957, a loss of nearly 3%. The Nasdaq Composite down 178, 7166, and the S&P 500 down 68 points at 2643.
Nicole Pedalides with the Fox Business Network. The planned sanctions include tariffs on $48 billion worth of Chinese imports and restrictions on investments. The Chinese embassy issuing a statement reading in part, the actions undertaken by the U.S. are self-defeating. They will directly harm the interest of U.S. consumers, companies, and financial markets. Earlier, the House passed a spending bill that would keep the government running, but there could be a snag in the Senate. Fox's Jared Halpern has more live on Capitol Hill.
Unless all 100 senators agree to fast-track a $1.3 trillion spending bill, Congress will miss that Friday night deadline to avoid a government shutdown.
This spending agreement brings the era of austerity to an unceremonious end.
Senate Democratic leader Chuck Schumer celebrates spending increases for domestic programs. Republican leaders like House Speaker Paul Ryan point to big funding increases for the military. President Trump has signaled support for the bill. Critics, however, complain about the process. The 2,200-page measure was not finalized and posted for lawmakers to read until last night. Lisa.
Jared, the Trump administration is signing off on selling more than $1 billion in arms to Saudi Arabia, including up to about 6,700 U.S.-built anti-tank missiles. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Connecticut water treatment customers don't keep coming back. They're satisfied the first time. That's right. Connecticut non-electric water treatment systems take care of your water problems, and you won't need to keep calling us for repairs. Join the list of satisfied Connecticut customers who purchased their non-electric water systems years ago and are still enjoying clean, conditioned water without any hassles from timers or circuit boards.
American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email them at info@americanwatertech.com.
Wendy's welcomes the new Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger, featuring smoky sauteed portobello mushrooms, melted Asiago cheese, crispy applewood smoked bacon, and crunchy fried onions atop a juicy beef patty. For those craving the same great taste, Wendy's Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato is also loaded with sauteed portobello mushrooms, cheddar cheese sauce, and crispy applewood smoked bacon. Here, for a limited time, get a delicious Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger and Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato today. Wendy's. Now that's better.
The website for the city of Atlanta held hostage in a cyber attack. Fox's Gernal Scott has more live.
Lisa, Atlanta's Mayor Keisha Bottoms says it hasn't yet been determined what caused the outages, but they are getting input from several agencies.
FBI, Homeland Security, also external partners from Microsoft and Cisco Cybersecurity.
Mayor Bottoms called it a ransomware attack that crippled city customer services, but Chief Operating Officer Richard Cox says the airport, public safety, and waterworks were not affected. He added city payroll also isn't a concern.
We are prepared to pay employees as scheduled.
Employees, though, are being urged to check for any compromised data, Lisa.
Gernal, an attorney for the brother of Florida school shooting suspect Nicholas Cruz, filing court papers that a $500,000 bond for trespassing at the school is unfair. The lawyer for Zachary Cruz argues the 18-year-old already paid the standard $25 bond for a misdemeanor and should not be kept in custody. The Trump administration cracking down on drug crime.
A major part of President Trump's renewed war on drugs includes more aggressive law enforcement and prosecution of drug dealers, especially opioid dealers. This includes possible death sentences for traffickers.
We cannot allow drug dealers to walk our streets thinking they will get away with their crimes, or that they will only get a slap on the wrist.
Attorney General Jeff Sessions, speaking in Tallahassee, says the U.S. government will also prosecute doctors and pharmacies who are prescribing opioids improperly or for personal gain. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Police in Maine say they're on the lookout for a wild turkey that broke into a home through a bedroom window. Officers in Kennebunk posted photos of the bird that ran afoul of the law on their Facebook page, showing the destroyed window and the turkey looking at himself in the mirror, asking residents to be on the lookout for the bird they're calling Peeping Tom. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
With the pending implementation of a new sales tax, the team of Gutierrez Bordallo is greatly concerned for the people of Guam. The collection of this tax means $160 million a year will come from our already suffering working class and will negatively impact the cost of living for our island families. If given the opportunity, our team would immediately look at restructuring the government to reduce from the top and prioritize critical services. We need a streamlined plan. We need leadership. We need Gutierrez Bordallo.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
For more than 40 years, we've managed our island's most precious resource, your health. Take Care's benefit plans allow members access to more than 120 medical providers, 40 dental providers, and 18 pharmacies in the region. Take Care's health plans ensure members in Palau, Saipan, and Guam receive the care they deserve. Our programs and wellness classes have proven results for our valued members, and our commitment to your health never been stronger. Take Care, our island, your health plan.
Chili's has the seafood you crave, the flavors you love, at a great price with our 3 for Me Lent menu. For just $15, you can get a beverage, fresh salad, and a Lent-friendly entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a fresh house salad right before you indulge in your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our spicy shrimp tacos, savory Cajun pasta with shrimp, or our flavorful grilled ancho salmon. Chili's 3 for Me Lent menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
Yes, money is something we should talk about and plan for and use to make life better. It's how we make our giant leap from where we are to where we want to be. So let's talk together and work together to check off shiny new kitchens, fully nested dorm rooms, and bucket lists with more countries than our passports can hold. Let's check them all off together. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Half a day and good morning, Guam News Time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Friday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The star witness for the prosecution of former Guam Customs Lieutenant was on the stand for most of the day in district court yesterday. In the meth trial of Raymond Martinez and Juanita Mosier, Henry Alvendia described how he was approached by the defendants in 2013 to get his advice on trying to smuggle drugs into Guam. Alvendia signed a plea agreement in 2015 admitting to bribery, fraud, and other corruption charges. As part of his plea deal, Alvendia agreed to work with the prosecution to conduct a drug sting on Mosier and Martinez. Martinez and Mosier are accused of trying to smuggle 8 pounds of meth into Guam. Defense attorney David Lujan attacked Alvendia's credibility yesterday, calling him the most corrupt customs officer in the history of Guam. Alvendia's testimony will continue today in district court. The judiciary of Guam is hoping to collect around $4.5 million if a plan to garnish income tax refunds for outstanding court fees, fines, and other court-related obligations is approved. The Judicial Council discussed details of the planned agreement yesterday. It involves finalizing a memorandum of agreement with Rev and Tax for the purpose of implementing a tax refund offset program. Under the agreement, past due legally enforced debts owed by taxpayers to the judiciary may be offset against income tax refunds. The judiciary has accumulated more than 7,700 active citations that total around $2.3 million in outstanding payables. Another 7,500 active warrants of arrest represent $2.2 million in monies owed to the judiciary. We'll have more news after this.
GPSI Guam is a professional services company that is a registered contractor for the federal government. They're an SBA, 8A, and Hub Zone certified SDVOSB, providing program/project management, administration, technical support, logistics, and commodities. Find out more about GPSI and how they can help you today. For large prime companies, contact GPSI if you need assistance in meeting your small business subcontracting goals at 477-3058. They'll be happy to assist.
Join the most excellent of egg hunts. Chuck E. Cheese's Guam is holding their annual indoor egg hunts on Tuesday, March 27th from 3 to 7 p.m. Pre-register for the right age group in one of the 4 egg hunts per hour. Bring your baskets to hunt those eggs. Stay and play for the best experience. Call 647-4544 to register or stop in the restaurant. And sign up. Excellent egg hunts at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
11 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. Guam Memorial Hospital Administrator Peter John Camacho says paychecks for all employees will be issued as scheduled on time this afternoon. 2 weeks ago, on payday morning, a memo was issued to all GMH employees warning of a possible delay in issuing paychecks after CFO Benita Manglonia warned the payroll account was $2.3 million short. Checks were finally issued late in the day, just before 5 p.m. However, Camacho says that won't happen today. Governor Calvo, however, was not so confident yesterday. He said it'll be tough to make Friday's payroll for all GovGuam employees. He pointed out that the first revenues from the new tax legislation won't come in until May 20th, and so far, for the next couple of months, he said, it's going to be hairy. An investigation is underway at the Department of Corrections after a glass pipe used to smoke meth was discovered on Wednesday at the prison's Post 5, which is used for disciplinary segregation of prisoners. DOC Director Tony Lamarena telling the Post that the pipe contained suspected meth residue. It was found in a Post 5 cell during a regular shakedown. The prison has been conducting shakedowns on a daily basis in an effort to curb contraband within the prison. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Here's Ray with some weather.
Fire weather watch in effect through Saturday afternoon for the island of Guam because we're in a dry season weather pattern. And that's locking everything in place, including the fire danger rating. Have you noticed how you can see into the jungle further? I think it has everything to do with the dry weather conditions that we have. It's not raining a lot, so the trees have gone into kind of a survival mode.
Yeah, they shrink a little bit.
They shrink a little bit, and you can see into the boondocks a little bit more. And I'm going by these little lanes that we've got, and it looks like somebody has done some bush cutting or mowing around there, but I know there hasn't been any.
No.
It's just the grass ain't growing.
Mother Nature bush cutting.
That time of year, partly cloudy skies and isolated showers, winds out of the east up to about 20 miles an hour, increasing to 25 miles an hour on Sunday. Watch the breeze, guys. Run against it. Daytime highs near 88 degrees and overnight lows are 76 degrees. Sunset tonight, 6:32. I figure sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:22. That's news and weather together here on The Point.
On April 14th, join Bank of Guam for the first ever Hagåtña City E-Fit Run and Block Party to benefit the Guam Cancer Care and the American Cancer Society Guam. This event begins with a sunset run through our capital, starting at 5 p.m. at the Chamorro Village, and the excitement continues at our block party with food trucks, beer garden, live entertainment, and the greatest beast competition, and a fun-filled kids zone. The Hagåtña City E-Fit Run and Block Party, Saturday, April 14th, brought to you by Bank of Guam, member FDIC.
Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurants for 40 years, serving your favorite meals to your family. Always open and always local. That's King's.
Triple J says yes. Zero down? Yes. 1.9% financing? Yes. Easy trade-in? Yes. No payments for 90 days? Yes. We'll have you saying yes, too, to these amazing deals. Like our big boy truck, the Ford F-150 at only $217 per paycheck. Or the top safety pick Mazda CX-5 Sport at only $194 per paycheck. Or turn heads in the Mazda 3 Sport or the sleek and sophisticated Kia Soul. Both for only $129 per paycheck. Visit us online at triplejguam.com. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J. Customers first.
8:14, the Ray Gibson Show on The Point, brought to you by First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with yes.
Hawfade, my name is James Moylan, and I'm running for a seat as your senator. The people of Guam expect more from their leaders, and I intend on delivering. If given the opportunity, I will bring my experiences in the military, public, and private sectors. I understand that during challenging times, tough decisions and an open mind are needed. Your tax dollars also need to be spent wisely. If you expect more from your elected officials and expect them to think outside of the box, then I humbly ask for your support this November. Thank you.
Paid for by the committee to elect James Camacho Moylan for Senator, Carlos Camacho, Treasurer.
Oh, you're very welcome. It's 8:14, and this portion of the program also brought to you by Security Title. This Mike's wondering where I'm going to go for this one. So, sometimes when times get tough, you got to tighten your belt. And sometimes belt tightening not enough. Sometimes you got to have a garage sale. Sometimes you got to go to the flea market and sell off some of your prized assets for cash. So this would be an interesting question. What a great project this would be for Kim and Ron Young over at Security Title. What we do is we say we're going to sell Hospital Point.
Okay.
Highest bidder. Who wants to buy Hospital Point? Nice place up there, right? So we sell Hospital Point, and then we have Security Title go and do all of the research needed to make sure that we get clear title to that property, so we are sure we could sell it, and then the buyers would have all the confidence that they would then have clear title after they bought it. That's what they do, and nobody does it better than Security Title.
Relax, enjoy, and be greeted by the spectacular view of Hagåtña Bay when you visit the Point at the Sheraton Laguna Guam. Gaze into the beautiful sunset as you unwind to the music of Philip Garcia and Natasha on Wednesdays, Mama Shar and Nina on Thursdays, Philip Garcia and Louise Muña on Fridays, and Jack Larimer on Saturdays. Open daily from 8 a.m. to 11 p.m. Happy hour from 5 to 8 p.m. with all cocktail drinks for $7. Receive a discount when you present your SPG card. Call Peter Yaban at 646-2222 for reservations at the Point at the Sheraton Laguna Guam Resort.
The Coconut Wireless is back. The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. On demand at thepoint.gu.
Yeah, buddy. 8:15, and time for our daily sports report with Blake Watson from Star 101. And Blake is going to go through a couple of things. But, we've been spending so much time talking about Regine Tugade that maybe it was a good time to put a picture of her somewhere where everybody can see it. So if you pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post, you will see a picture of Regine and a couple of her teammates there as they break some more records. Good morning. It's time for sports with Blake. Got to do that. There. Bang, boom, boom, boom. So, on his mic, Regine Tugade.
Yep. I know what she looks like. I'm well aware.
Now we all do.
Yeah.
Now we all do. So, and she would get those little track things with the shorts that we describe as butt huggers. They're butt hugging shorts.
Are they wearing? But they're wearing like the one piece, right? Or are they wearing? Do they have like? Is it like a top and shorts? I don't know. I can't see the picture.
It's somebody else's daughter. I'm not going to stare.
No,
at the picture.
I'm just saying. Like, is the?
What you're trying to?
I just mean like is the Naval?
There
we go. The Naval Academy. Their uniforms. Okay, so they are. They look like they're like two pieces. Like you know what I mean? Like they're like those are. Those aren't shorts, but I guess, you know what I mean? Like they're separate from the top is what I'm saying. Okay.
So you can see a picture of Regine in the back cover of today's Guam Daily Post. Back cover of the PDN has got a picture of what looks like last year's crowd for the Kick the Fat race.
Last year's?
I think it's not this year's because they haven't run it yet.
No. Yes, courtesy of Payless in this file photo.
There you go.
There you go. Yeah.
Big picture, big crowd. It's one of the hugest races on Guam.
And it's just getting bigger, right?
Because they give free stuff away at the end. They get a ton of great giveaways, and they give away boxes of cereal and that kind of thing. It's just more of that. I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to run it or not. I couldn't even tell you whether there's still time to go and buy a bib or something like that, or just kind of run alongside them.
You know what I like? I like that they let the staff leading up to this. I guess the whole month of March, they've been letting the Payless staff at any and all the locations I've noticed. They get to wear the shirts. They get to wear the Kick the Fat shirts.
Nice. Okay,
have you been seeing that? Because they're all very brightly colored.
Yeah,
and
they
very
have
floral.
been at Oka Payless.
Yeah, they have been at Mingilao and also Agana, the two in between me. So yeah,
not completely missed it. We'll look for it today if I get a chance to roll into some of those spots for my usual supplies. But a couple of big deals that are going on, and yeah, so we've got the Kick the Fat race that's coming up. We've got the Guam Running Club's full marathon, and the plans for that are all underway. People asking me if I'm running it, and the answer is I'm not running the marathon. I already ran a marathon
more, right?
this year.
Not just this one. You're not running anymore for the 2018
Yeah, I think
year,
I'm
right?
done for the year. I really need to knuckle into some training, so
See,
I'm going to find
smart,
13
though.
miles somewhere and just run the 13.
You did it smart. You got your marathon out like in the first month, two months of the year.
So I don't
Like,
have to
I'm done.
sweat anything else. And so when like the Guam International Marathon, when it's done with that, I will be the one that crosses the finish line smiling, as opposed to if I had run the full marathon without the kind of training regime that you've got to have to do it comfortably. And I just, people come up to me and I'm like, don't talk to me until you've got a beer or want to massage my feet.
Or you
One
got
or the
free
other,
cereal. You can give me free
Possibly both.
cereal.
Or yeah, free cereal. Anyway, so there's all of those things are going to be taking place here soon. So get your training on.
Yes, and is that pretty much, is that like the last of the big races? I mean, I know there's always 5Ks going on, but is that the last of? Does the Guam Running Club have anything after the marathon? Any kind of big?
Well, I consider all Guam Running Club races big for different reasons because they usually do different things. But in terms of other big races towards the end of the year, we've got the Cocoa Half Marathon.
That's true.
So
That's
there's-
coming up.
there's
That's
always
October, right?
something to
They
look
move
forward
that
to.
like in October, sometime around there.
Dates on all of these things will move around sometimes, depending on weather conditions or just openings in the calendar. GRC also does a number of 5Ks, and so sometimes they get busy and it's difficult to pin down the planning. But they do an outstanding job with that. Tagaman, was it Tagaman that they did this weekend up in Saipan?
Oh yeah, I think was it.
Bunch of Guam people went up there.
I saw that on social media. I saw it on some people that I know's Facebook.
Yeah, Kit went up there. Minami went up there, and I haven't seen any of the placements, but I know that we did send a delegation up to the CNMI to participate in that.
Very cool. And IIAG, we've been talking about that. It's all set to kick off, I believe, next week, fourth quarter, and the Ukuru High Bulldogs. The girls hoping to repeat as champions as they have head coach Desmond Mandel. Excited to be one of the contenders every year, he said. And so that's coming up as we talked about that. And I finally found the answer.
You know what you do? You know what you do? You find out where Desmond is training these guys, right? And you don't have to join his training group. Just be close enough to hear him.
Yeah.
Right, when he does the try, because I've actually stalked some of those things in the past just to be able to see what exercises that they're doing that I can add to my training regimes to see if there's stretches that you can do or different ways that you can get your warm-ups
Drills
done. And Desmond is a scientist when it comes to this stuff. His brother Derek, he's just fast, but Des is the science guy.
He's tactical, right?
Yep.
Yeah. He's got speed and he's got the method. But yeah, rounding it out, I finally got the answer. Fourth quarter includes boys and girls track and field, paddling, boys and girls, boys volleyball, that's the one I was missing, and girls soccer. So it all starts next week.
Nice.
So
And don't forget the Triple J, the 76 Circle K paddling deal is going to be paddling against cancer is going to be on Sunday at Mataping Beach. So make sure get your parking strategy sorted
10 a.m.
out.
Yeah, well, it starts at 10 a.m., so get there before is what Ray's saying.
Yeah, well, like 7 before.
You know what? Just go out Saturday night to Tumon. Just don't go home.
So I was going to say park at PIC, but the guys over at PIC might not welcome the conversation. But there's parking in and around the area, and you're going to get towed away if you do it wrong. So just make sure that as best as you can, do it absolutely right, because I don't want anything to mar the day. There's going to be a lot of people out there, including our own team from next door over at Choice Phone and Beyond the Box, that are going to be participating in that.
Very cool. I have not much left of sports. I do have 2 small John Wayne notes if you want them.
So they're either going to be John Wayne or San Diego.
It's John.
Okay, but
today's John Wayne.
Okay.
Top worst movie of all time.
There's no such thing.
Genghis Khan, John.
The Conqueror.
The Conqueror, really?
The Conqueror is far and away one of the highly touted worst movies of all time. No matter where you go on the internet, it's just terrible. And here's a fun fact I learned.
But beating out the Police Academy shows?
Beating out Dude, Where's My Car?
Wow.
Yep. Whoa. And so you know it's terrible. And he found the script he went to go visit a director, and he found the script in the trash. So maybe he should have
and just left it there.
You know who financed that, by the way? The only way it got financed was because Howard Hughes had a lot of money in 1956, and he gave it to the studio to make it. So there you go.
All
also,
right.
Green
I don't know
Berets.
why, but you mentioned the 50s, and my head is kind of in the 50s as I wake up this morning, because I was watching on Netflix last night, The Outsider, which takes place. It's a Yakuza story, takes place in Japan in the 1950s in Osaka.
Who is in that?
Nobody that anybody knows.
Okay,
it's
all right.
just and it's great. I mean, the first 20 minutes, people are already cutting off their fingers.
Really?
Yeah, it's great.
I love it. All set there, right? All shot in Japan, very authentic.
And he's cutting the finger off, and he gives it to the boss, and the boss kind of looks at him, and he says, "Okay," and takes out the knife and cuts another finger off, and that made the boss happy.
Of course it did.
Yeah, but it's a very interesting yarn so far. And then there's this story that I have. The Toys R Us going out of business sale has begun. And
they started, what, I don't know if you have it there, 1956 or something like that? Isn't that how long they were around?
I guess the internet killed them. Final sales begin today at Toys R Us stores across the country. All remaining Toys R Us locations in the U.S. will start clearing their inventory with massive price cuts on basically everything in the store, with most locations beginning their sales now and will run them through June. And then I guess the toys will... I don't know. What are they going to do with any unsold toys?
They should donate them is what they should do, yeah. But I saw a picture that really broke my heart. It wasn't just that everything was like half off. It was everything. I mean, fixtures, racks, lights,
well, and then
tiles.
they're going through all this with a heavy heart because the owner just passed away.
On top of everything else.
1957 to 2018.
Hiya day.
There you go.
Hiya day, the man says. Anyway, so the end of kind of an era for that, but it does give me the opportunity to ask about favorite toys of all time. I think I might have mentioned mine of all time as a pair of pants with a hole in the pocket. Sorry.
Can I get a rim shot on that one? There it is.
I'm late today, man. It's one of those days.
All right, the entire G.I. Joe line.
Yep.
Okay, but
the originals, right?
The original, the tall ones.
Yeah.
Do you know, I used to like to take Legos and make Starfleet ships out of them.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
As,
I'll show you how to do that one
adult,
day.
Like, is it like currently?
No, we're talking about when we were kids.
Yeah, okay, because my old man and I went through a Lego phase back in the 80s, and we just sit around and drink Miller Genuine Draft and make things with, something to do with our hands.
Nice.
Always Legos. I've always liked Legos, but I had one, and this is after late '80s, after they miniaturized the GI Joes. But I had the USS Flag 2Gs aircraft carrier.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it was huge, and I wish I would have held on to it because it's probably worth a few thousand. But I had that. Santa gave it to me.
That's the thing. It launched planes, right?
Yep, it launched planes,
planes.
and it was actually it was 6 feet long. It was no little thing. But yeah, I wish I still had that. That was my favorite.
I saved Kevin for last because I never know. I mean, this is. I said, a guy never watched Looney Tunes when he was a kid, so I was just kind of curious. They had toys for you when you were growing up, right?
Cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
That's what,
okay.
The little
plastic
fort,
ones?
the wooden fort, and I used
almost
to build
like
those all the time.
almost like the Green Army Men, but they were cowboys and Indians, right?
Yep. G.I. Joe, of course.
But you had
Come
to
on,
get all of those things. I had the G.I. Joe with the metal detector. Did you get the one with the metal detector
No,
too?
I didn't.
Any of y'all have the Eva Knievel stunt cycle that you pull back?
Oh, that's my brother's time.
Oh, okay.
That's
I didn't know. I mean, it was way before. Not way before. Maybe a little bit before my time.
But he was too young. He was too young to enjoy it, really. So I played.
Because everybody that was the whole joke I think on the '70s show is that every kid got a broken one for Christmas because the dad stayed up all night playing with it.
That was a good toy. That was a righteous one there. Anyway, so and then the other thing about Toys R Us, as I think about it, is the last time I was in an actual Toys R Us, the last thing I bought was a Monopoly set. They had board games, and so Monopoly is, it's a favorite board game everywhere. Kids were playing Logo, of all things, yesterday.
Yeah. Wow.
And it was just frustrating me to death because these kids are 13 and 17 and they're playing a game. Virtually every single logo item that they would ask about, it's all trivia based on businesses,
right.
things that you buy. Virtually all of them were done 20 or 30 years before they were born. So they didn't know the answer to anything. And I'm sitting there wanting to blurt it out. But favorite board game besides Monopoly, did you have one?
Always liked to play Sorry. Thought Sorry was a good game.
That's a good one. That's a good one. I like Clue, but I also like the game of Life.
Really?
I love Life. I like putting the little people in the car and driving around, spinning the thing.
Okay.
Parcheesi.
Parcheesi.
You remember that?
Yeah. That was
still. I think nothing tops.
I don't know if Parcheesi really counts as because that was always the game that the weird aunt got you. She never saw you except once a year at Christmas time. And here, son, here's a Parcheesi set.
Actually, I've forgotten how it's.
Or Yahtzee.
It's been a while.
I always got a Yahtzee cup.
I just
for
remember
Christmas.
the name. It rolls off the tongue.
Nothing beats a
here it
nice
is.
evening of Risk though with
it is.
friends. As an adult.
It's a board
Risk
game.
is good.
Yeah,
You always got to take over Oceania.
Yeah. Oh,
Oceania.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah, because then you can move on into the Asia.
Something to think about here. It's the weekend. You're going to be doing stuff with the kids, and the kids need something to do because it's spring break next week for lots and lots of kids here on Guam. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Traffic's going to be great next week. So just FYI, just board games for the kids. Nothing beats giving them a deck of cards.
Oh, Uno is always good. I still got Uno for when the power goes out.
Oh, you got to teach these kids
Uno's
how to play.
good.
Texas Hold'em.
I wonder they'll ask, "What are these for?"
You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised.
You know that they tricked up Monopoly real quick. Is they're coming out with a cheaters edition sometimes this 2018, and basically you can cheat, but if you get caught, like there's cheating cards, take a big risk.
Yeah.
But if you get caught, they upped the ante on going to jail. So the new Cheaters Edition comes with a plastic handcuff attached to the board. So when you're in jail, you actually have to be handcuffed to
literally in jail.
Yeah, you actually be handcuffed to the board.
Oh, I like that
It
stuff.
comes out sometime this year.
look out for
Cheaters
it.
Edition Monopoly.
Might not be able to find it at a Toys R Us near you,
No.
but pretty sure that they'll have it over at Kmart. See, and who's chiming in this morning? Candyland Operation Shoots and Ladders.
Shoots and Ladders.
Yeah, there's another one. Operation was
Guess Who? Guess Who was always a pretty fun game.
I'm guessing that's a female listener.
Yeah, it is. I have the 220 volt version of Operation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Did y'all have Perfection? That they used to scare the daylights out of me. Just like Operation. You're trying to put all the little shapes in the holes and it pops up in your face.
Yep. Had again from my brother and sister's time, not necessarily mine, and those things that fly all over Grandma's house, and we found them by her stepping on them. That's basically how that game worked. It's 8:31 in the morning. You've got work to do over on Star 101, so I'm going to cut you loose. We're going to take a quick break. When we return, headlines with Kevin Kerrigan.
Wendy's welcomes the new Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger, featuring smoky sautéed portobello mushrooms, melted Asiago cheese, crispy applewood smoked bacon, and crunchy fried onions atop a juicy beef patty. For those craving the same great taste, Wendy's Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato is also loaded with sautéed portobello mushrooms, cheddar cheese sauce, and crispy applewood smoked bacon. Here, for a limited time, get a delicious Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger and Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato today. Wendy's. Now that's better.
Is there traffic today? Well, as I said, gets to be morning drive, and there is a little bit of that. Looking at the maps now, looks like Wow. From Guam Regional Medical City. North to Guam Regional Medical City on Marine Corps Drive. That has been snagged all morning long, and I don't see any kind of relief coming out of there. Is this outbound on West Santa Monica Avenue on to Isang Song, experiencing some slowdowns right now on that particular street? What have I got for 8, 10, and 16? Anything groovy happening there? Doesn't look like it at this point. And in fact, it doesn't start to slow you down until you move south on Route 8 towards Agana. And as I said, once you get past that Teedzin entrance, you're going to be okay. Route 4, a little busy. Up towards the intersection of 4 and 10, and 10 only gets busy near Payless, KFC, and the school. So that's what's happening in traffic right here on The Point.
The Gutierrez-Bordallo team is greatly concerned with the passing of the bill to implement a new sales tax for our island. Too many people are living paycheck to paycheck and will suffer with this new increase in prices. Streamlining the government and reducing non-essential employees and services is a better solution. Governor Gutierrez has been in this position before and knows how to make the tough decisions. We need to be frugal and responsible. We need leadership. We need Gutierrez-Bordallo.
I'm Carl Gutierrez, and I approve this message.
Chili's has the seafood you crave, the flavors you love, at a great price with our 3 for Me Lent menu. For just $15, you can get a beverage, fresh salad, and a Lent-friendly entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a fresh house salad right before you indulge in your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our spicy shrimp tacos, savory Cajun pasta with shrimp, or our flavorful grilled ancho salmon. Chili's 3 for Me Lent menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's. More life happens here.
I got to share this with you. I needed to have something to start getting delivered here at the Point's incredible studios on Marine Corps Drive. And so I was talking to the lady, and she said, listen, I think I know exactly where you are, but do me a favor. Can you draw me a map? I said, yeah, no problem. I'll draw you a map. And she said, and then fax it to me? And I said, what, you want me to what? She said, can you fax it to me? I said, lady, we don't have a fax machine here. I've got one. It's next door. And
in the closet.
Yeah, I think so.
In a box.
I've never seen it. I know that there is a fax number here and a fax machine somewhere next door, but I have no idea where it is. Do you have a fax?
No.
Over at your place?
We do, yeah, but
same thing. I don't
send
know.
me an email or WhatsApp me.
WhatsApp me the thing, and that's what we ended up doing. Is tell you what, I'll go and do a screenshot of the Google Maps with a little mark that shows you where we're at, and it'll be as simple as that. She said, "Yeah, I guess the email thing works too." It's 8:35, and time to jump into our last look at headlines from Kevin Kerrigan and the Guam Daily Post.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 35 minutes past 8 a.m. Here's a look at some of the top stories from the Daily Post today. Governor Calvo says he will submit the fiscal realignment plan to the legislature today. It's one of the requirements in the new tax law. Submission of the plan will trigger implementation of the temporary 25% increase in the business privilege tax, which on April 1st will rise 1 percentage point from 4% to 5%. The plan doesn't have to be approved by the legislature. Calvo said the plan will detail $30 million in budget cuts, which is also required by the new tax law, and it ensures that there will be no further cuts to the Department of Education. He said Guam DOE already identified roughly $12 million in cuts, and that's it, said the governor. They won't have to cut any more. 2 men were charged in district court yesterday with attempted possession of methamphetamine with intent to distribute after federal law enforcement agents seized a FedEx envelope containing 114 grams of crystal meth. Jesse Leon Guerrero, Jarrett Leon Guerrero were named in a federal complaint. The 2 men allegedly opened a package at their residence on Lubaño Street in Barragata that contained the drugs. Homeland Security agents executed a warrant to search their residence after obtaining a federal tracking warrant and replacing the package with sham and an electronic tracking device. The 2 men were remanded to the custody of the U.S. Marshals. Groundbreaking ceremony held yesterday for the widening of Route 3 to make room for more traffic along the main road to the future Marine Corps base in Finnegajen. The $44 million project was awarded to Black Construction. It's being paid for entirely with Department of Defense funds. A 3-mile stretch of the existing 2-lane roadway will be expanded to a 4-lane divided highway starting from about 600 feet south of Route 28 up to Chalancaretta. The Chalancaretta intersection will include a new main gate entrance to the future Marine base. Project slated for completion by January 2020. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
Sham. Wow, the guy says. iConnect time in the studio. It's 8:36. Connect longer for less with iConnect's push-to-talk mobile and internet plans.
Hey, it's your stomach again. Subway has all new signature wraps, and around the water cooler, the other stomachs can't stop talking about them. Chipotle Southwest steak and cheese, turkey, bacon, and guac, rotisserie-style chicken Caesar signature wraps. Listen, if I'm honest, as a talking stomach, I don't have a lot of life experience. But I do know one thing. These signature wraps are jam-packed with meat. So what are you waiting for? I'm growling over here. Subway, make it what you want.
As we journey through the new year, we here at APL continue to find ways to better deliver our island's resources with innovative and cost-effective solutions, lending our helping hands by carrying your freight safely from the U.S. mainland or anywhere in our global network. We humbly honor the opportunities to continue to work and connect with you and your business. We are APL, and we are here for you.
Are you a veteran or on active duty looking for a home loan and VA eligible? Then Bank Pacific stores are open to you, where we are a VA-approved preferred lender. That simply means we can give you faster credit approvals and loan closing. And with today's super low rates, you just can't go wrong. Bank Pacific's My VA Loan, where we're open to closing your loan in a hurry.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal housing lender, credit conditions apply. Viva Bank Pacific.
I could just let this thing play for a while. I dig it. That's a nice jam in my ears, I'm telling you. Hey, welcome to the Ray Gibson Show on The Point. My name is Ray. Kevin has gone off to his grown-up job at the Guam Daily Post, and we'll be able to read up on some of the things that he's up to and some of the things that he's going to be talking about on the Post in just, I don't know, tomorrow, because they publish on the weekends. It's one of the things they do. Keep you updated, keep you informed on all the stuff that's going on. 20 away from 9, and Mike Knight's over on that side. You can reach him and us at 888-8255. That number again is 888-8255. And once you get through the call screening process, then we talk about a variety of topics and subjects. Now, one of the things I like to do is just every once in a while take a look at the gizmo on Facebook Live and see who's there now. Danielle, good morning. Dave Torrey, hey, Afalai. There's Joe Cruz, that one, not the other one. Ken Williams, Waylon Joseph, Rita Hugo, Jay Rojas from Gita. Now, did you have the meeting already with Regine, or was that going to be today? Oyal from the governor's office, Mike Patterson. Often forget Ryan St. Nicholas from over at Telena's office. Let me say, I see Chad Anderson. And this is cool. I got a couple of guys out in Washington that are listening. Is in Washington, the state, not D.C. Gabriel Leon Guerrero, my old buddy, Mike Tiano. And it's nice to be able to see those guys there in the mixes as well. 888-8255 and Mark Mendiola. I don't know if he's still on. He was on a little bit earlier in the morning. Coming up in the studio, I've got a couple of guests that are going to talk to me about a backpack deal that the Rotoracks are up to, and I'll share that with you, as I said, between here and there. And I was looking to see if there was a comment or something on the... No, I don't have an answer on that. I was hoping to get an answer from Oyal about what she knows about Lisa Murkowski coming to Guam. And you're going, Lisa Murkowski, where have I heard that name? Lisa Murkowski. Yeah, I used to play for, Lisa Murkowski, as it turns out, is going to be on Guam. She is the congressperson, senator from Alaska. So she is leading a CODEL to the Northern Mariana Islands. A U.S. Senator took up Governor Ralph De Leon Guerrero Torres' invitation to visit the CNMI as discussions on the worker transition period continues on the Senate floor. In the social media post over the weekend, Ralph Torres confirmed that Senator Lisa Murkowski will be leading a congressional delegation to visit the CNMI this month. And I'm told that it's going to be taking place this weekend. Yeah, so she's going up to the CNMI, but they tell me there's something going on Guam, and so we'll see if I can get. I'm working on seeing if I can get an invite to go and hang out at that party. If for no other reason, because you look up some of the issues that are important to her. She represents in the state of Alaska, obviously Alaska Natives, and rural Alaska. I had the chance last year to go on one of those Alaskan cruises and just fell in love with the terrain and the weather and the people. They've got a great fishing industry there. Is very interested in the national defense, and she's also big on 2A, that is Second Amendment. And she quotes on her website, the Second Amendment of the United States Constitution reads a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security. There's people that can parrot this back to me, right? To the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. I know people, like I said, memorize that the way I memorized the Budweiser can. This is the famous Budweiser beer. We know of no other beer which costs so much to brew and age. You finish the rest of it for me, would you? 888-8255. Hey, I got to get this guy on the radio from all the way down south. Sanadza, the Moleso mayor, Ernie Chargaloff. Buenas de day, Mr. Mayor.
Buenas de day, Ray.
I hope you don't, I know how busy you are. I hope you don't mind us reaching out to you, but I wanted to give you a chance to invite all of the listeners of The Point, and that's Bula Tau Tau, down to Moleso for the Crab Festival.
Yes, thank you for the opportunity to reach out to the masses, Ray. Every year I invite everybody, and if you've never been there, you're missing a very nice spectacle. Now, if you've been there before, I invite you down again to enjoy again the event.
Oh, absolutely. There's so much to do. Of course, everybody's got a favorite part of it, and my favorite part is when you send the little kids out into the field and have them catch the crabs.
Yes, that's, the reason why I do that, Ray, is that I didn't want the kids to say that only the adults were having fun. Every time there's a release of the crabs, we make the kids go in, and I give $5 to every child that participates. So if you're a parent and you brought 4 kids within the required age or the requisite age, if you have 4 children, that's $20 you don't have to fork out of your pocket.
Oh, that's nice. And of course you get...
This goes right back into the concessionaires.
And the fun is that they're in Moleso. You get to do all of this down south. What time does everything start?
Well, tonight we start about 6:30 and end at midnight. And likewise with Saturday. Sunday is the finale where all the crabs, and then we have a 7:30 fireworks display and the raffle drawing.
So I mean, it would be nice to be down there for all 3 days, today and tomorrow and Sunday. But if I only had just a certain amount of time, you suggest Sunday for the finale?
Yes, Sunday is the finale. I let the kids participate first. There's no prize whatsoever. We just give them $5. They return the crabs, and whomever of the children catches the most, they get $25.
Right. And the idea is
12 and 13 to 17 category. And then I hit up the adults, 18 to 54 women, 18 to 54 men, and then 55 and over men, 55 and over women, and it's 4 categories. So I separated the genders because the women were being out hustled by the men. But we have some
that's funny
women. But on the majority, they were being out hustled in the catching of the crabs.
That's funny.
So we decided to release it and leave the women to themselves.
I'm curious about that. Obviously, I've never caught them in that kind of free range deal. For me, it was always let's see what we can do about getting them out of the hole, and then fattening them up with some coconut, and then a couple of weeks later we'll go ahead and put them in some more coconut juice, and we're going to make some coconut meat out of that. So I've done it differently, and it's always fun to watch the little kids do it, because these crabs all have, as crabs do, pinchers on them, and if you grab them the wrong way, there's going to be a little bit of hurt on whatever fingers you got left.
Yep, exactly. And I put the age requirement at 8. So they're pretty much in charge of their faculties as far as their reflexes. I don't want the younger ones to try to get, even the adults get bit.
What are we doing for food here down there this weekend?
We have a lot of food down there. So we have the canoe paddling on Saturday, and spear fishing as well. We have spear fishing competition, jet ski competition, and then we have Talada throwing contest both Saturday and Sunday. So if you miss the Talada throwing contest on Saturday, you can catch it on Sunday. Likewise with the tuba drinking. So if you miss Saturday, you can indulge Sunday, and you get to get a drink free tuba.
And nothing wrong with that. If you just came to Guam, and I'll put that into a special category, if you've lived here, all of your life, there's bits and pieces of our culture that maybe even you haven't experienced. And the best place to get that taste of culture is down south, and the best place down south to get the culture is Moleso, especially during the crab festival. So the food's going to be good, the entertainment's going to be awesome. You're doing jet skis. Oh my God, is that a hint that we're going to return to the old water festivals?
Yeah, actually, we incorporated this. This is a means of entertainment to showcase that, even with the Fiesta Tasi, we try to showcase that we're nestled between the mountains, rivers, and streams, and the ocean, so we are able to reap the benefits and bounties of both land and sea.
I like that.
We're able to have, be productive and collecting food on land, as well as sea, as well as play on land and play at sea as well.
Nice.
And it's unique that we are nestled between both sides, so that we can have fun both on land and at sea. So why not incorporate, although that's part of our culture, the ocean, the use of the ocean to have fun and to bring food to our table.
No, I'm with you. And any excuse to get down south. Never mind what the price of gas is. Just get in the car and go down there with as many of your friends as possible, and take in the hospitality and the spectacle that is Southern Guam. Are we almost done with the bridges, Mayor? Or is
yes, you know what? They're pretty much during the last minutes. I'm sure that by this year we're going to be done with that.
Okay, good.
Everything has been done. The side walls, and they're working on the main pathway. I think in a couple of months we should be done, and I hope that it gets done, because people are saying, "Man, what's going on?"
But it's been for years. It's been for years since we've been doing that, I'm glad to hear that we're finally on the last little bits of that detail.
Yes, man. We're on the last leg of the road, so hopefully in the next 2 to 3 months, hopefully even less, depending on how fast they do. Usually it's the finishing touches that they take up the most time, because you want to be sure. You want to be sure that you cross all your T's and dotted your I's, and making sure that everything was done right. So,
Can I ask you a question about another kind of landmark down there? And I remember once somebody asked me, he said we were finishing something up over by the dock, and he says, "Is there a historic district down here?" And I said, "Dude, you're in the historic district. Everything down here has got some history, and a piece of modern history, Mr. Mayor, that every time I pass by it, I always think somebody needs to do something with this. You know that old Mobil station before you get to the old school?
Yes.
Is there anybody that can do something with that? Just refurb the building, turn it into a clubhouse or something? I know there's a little spit that goes out in the backside. You can jump from the back of that right into the crystal clear waters of Moleso behind that old gas station. But it just seems to me that it's such a shame that it's after all of these years that old mole station is so dilapidated. I'm not suggesting that we sell gasoline in it or anything, but I think it's become a landmark down there, and we ought to try to preserve it.
It used to be a night car. That was the only service station. It used to cater to vehicles and flat tires, and that used to be owned by my mom's sister and her husband. And when they passed away, even before they passed away, I don't know, they probably had a rift with Mobile, and that's why I believe it closed down, because they, for the longest time, they've been patronizing and being patronized by Mobile.
But who owns the land and the building? Still your family?
Yes, I believe that's still under my aunt's. She's got her daughter and her son here, but
No, like I said, it's an iconic building, and I'd love to see something done with that one of these days down the road. Just turn it into, I don't know, a mayor's place or a police koban or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but that's a private property, so it's up to my cousins to see what they want to do. Find a developer and do something with it.
Yeah, it's a nice spot. And
that is their goal. I remember because I used to work in that gas station.
Yep. And
back in 1968, for $1 from 2:30 in the afternoon to 10:30 in the evening, all I wanted was $1 and some ice cream and one Coke for 8 hours. Back then, the wages were cheap, so. If you had $1 back then, you're rich.
Yep. And nothing wrong with the Coke in the old slim bottles and ice cream. You can make your own float.
It only cost like 5-10 cents.
That's nice. Great memories. Great memories.
It only cost a penny. Now it costs 25. Now the Nestle squash used to be only 10 cents. Now they're $1.25.
Can you imagine? That's and it's going to go up for all of our villagers because everybody's got the increase now in the cost of everything with the sales tax. Mr. Mayor, best of luck to you on the Crab Festival. I just wanted to make sure that I had a chance to talk with you. I'll see you down there this weekend.
Once again, I invite all the people in Guam to come down and share in all the fun and games we're going to have this weekend.
Right on. I'll talk to you pretty soon. We'll get the schedule and we'll stick it up on the radio somewhere so everybody can see it. Mayor Ernest Shogoloff from the village of Moleso, and a fine place it is.
I've cut back on my soda intake, but there is nothing better than a small 6-ounce Coca-Cola in the old little green bottle that comes out of one of those machines where you have to move the lever to get it out.
Right,
because they're ice cold and it's just so nice.
But there's that, and then you got the and it has to have the old tin cap with the cork in the bottom. That's a nostalgic moment.
Way back.
So what we would do in those days was we would take the cork carefully out of the back of the crown, and then you put it on your shirt, and then you stick the cork back through the material of your shirt, and then it would stay on your shirt. It would be like a badge.
Wow, nice.
That was because we didn't have toys. We were poor. We had rocks and sticks, and we had Coke bottle tops.
And crabs.
That was the thing. 8:55. The other thing about that and I'm serious. I'd love to see if somebody can do something with that piece of property down there. It's right there at the bend. You can't miss it. Just before you get to the harbor, to the pier, is this old hulk of a building, and it used to be, as the man said, the Mobile gas station down there.
Probably the only gas station down there for
a long time. And I was going to say it's fairly recently that I bought something from them, but as I close my eyes and think about it, that was 1983. It was the last time I think I was able to go in and buy something. But it's an iconic building of the old design that they had, where you had the pump in the center, and you'd have it was a circular rooftop over that part, and then you get into the building there. And so, as I said, a lot of vivid memories of that being one of the stops on the way down south to get things like a Coke or like a bar of Foremost ice cream or something like that. Just and gas. You could buy gas from down there as well. Just a terrific memory of the place, and something I hope I never see bulldozed in my lifetime. I'd love to see it just come back as something else. 8:57 and change on the program. Not much to fill the time between here and the Fox News. Let you know what's going to be coming up. As I said, we've got a couple of people that will be in the studio to talk about, I think, a very interesting it's not a fundraiser. I don't want to call it a fundraiser. It's Backpacks for Humanity. The Rotaract Club of the Marianas are going to be in here, and what they want to do is they want to collect backpacks, which would be easy. I have a dozen of them at my house. But the backpacks, tote bags, canvas bags, gym bags, they'd like them to be filled with things that will improve somebody's life. And we'll tell you what those things are, and we'll tell you how you can get your pre-filled bags submitted to the Rotaract Club of the Marianas. Now, it's also interesting because one of the people that's coming in here for this is also a hiker. And I don't know if you saw, they've got a great hike that is planned this weekend down in Elig to the Tarzan Pools. And I've never been out there. And I'll bet they have. So I want to get a little bit more of the conversation going on that. There's a couple of other things that might come up in the next hour of the program. We'll have to wait and see. There's a conversation and people kind of excited about the Payless that's going to be coming to Mighty. Last I heard, they're going to be closing down the one over at the Agana Shopping Center, which is going to be tough for Agana Shopping Center because Payless has been there since they opened in the 70s.
Might be one of their biggest draws, really. Right
Could be.
Now,
Well, they got movie theaters, right?
That's true.
And a Shoe Mart and a Panda Express, right? So, maybe weather the storm a little bit until somebody else comes in. And who knows, it might be another big grocery store name that goes in there.
True.
But somebody was saying, wow, there's going to be a Payless in Mighty. Isn't that great? And I'm going, there was already a Payless in Mighty. In the 1960s, in the 1970s. You know where they have townhouse furniture now?
Sure.
And I think it's the San Jose Market. It's next to Cars Plus. Well, that building there used to be, when I was a little boy, the J&G Payless for that part of Guam. And that's where you went to get ground beef and milk and bread and eggs and all of the things that you needed. So it's interesting that the Payless name comes back to that part of the island. Although it won't be a J&G, it is still, at the end of the day, the Payless Markets. So, it's a little bit more of them kind of coming home. And that's how that's one of the ways that you can tell that you're talking to an old fart on Guam,
right,
is when they don't refer to it as Payless, but they call it J&G. That's how you know. that means they've been here long enough to remember when that was, like it is now, kind of the place. It's changed, obviously. They didn't do 5Ks when it was J&G. Oh, well, it's 9 o'clock or darn close to it. This is radio station KUSG Hagåtña. Fox News Live is coming up next. More of the Ray Gibson Show on a Friday morning on the other side. Be right back.
This is a Fox News alert. Another White House personnel change. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. President Trump naming a new national security advisor, his third.
President Trump has named former UN ambassador and Fox News contributor John Bolton as his next national security advisor. Bolton will take over for General H.R. McMaster on April 9th. McMaster's departure has been rumored for weeks. Reporters saw Bolton arrive at the White House earlier today. In a statement, the president says McMaster helped accomplish great things to bolster America's national security, revitalize alliances in the Middle East, smash ISIS, and bring North Korea to the table. McMaster says he will request retirement from the Army after 34 years of service.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. A massive spending bill passed this morning in the House. It could hit a roadblock in the Senate as they scramble to schedule a vote before a possible government shutdown tomorrow.
The spending package includes almost $655 billion
for national defense, nearly $48 billion for homeland security, $21 billion for infrastructure projects, and almost $1.6 billion for barriers and technology on the border. There was plenty of support from Democrats since it is a bipartisan compromise, but the House Democratic whip hammered the GOP for voting on it before anyone had read the more than 2,200-page bill.
Fox's Mike Emanuel at the Capitol. Former White House strategist Steve Bannon lashing out after coming under scrutiny for his involvement in a company that used Facebook data to influence the election.
The great opposition party, media, never went after the Obama campaign, never went after the progressive left, as have been doing this for years. And in 2013, when I thought that a data company might be important, all of a sudden becomes global news.
Bannon with the comments during an interview with the Financial Times. Fox News, fair and balanced.
Did you know over 80% of all vision impairments can be prevented or cured? Naval Academy and Johns Hopkins University graduate Dr. Peter Lombard has performed thousands of sight-saving procedures in Guam since 2010. He specializes in cataract surgery and can treat your diabetic eye disease, glaucoma, and much more. From simple vision exams to complex surgery, Lombard Health proudly accepts all insurance. Call today to book an appointment at 989-4747. Guam's best eye care. One patient at a time.
At Micronesia Renewable Energy, values matter. So all of their solar energy systems come with guarantees and the most value. No shortcuts, all quality. It's giving you that solar energy system at the best price. It's using highly efficient solar panels with typhoon-proven racking, built by highly skilled local technicians, so your system performs and saves you money. It's total peace of mind all the time. Not all solar companies are created equal. For experienced quality solar, it's MRE. Call 632-2613. MRE, the smarter choice.
Police in suburban Chicago releasing body cam video from a traffic stop that turned deadly. Fox's Steve Rappaport has more live.
Lisa, Elgin police say DeCynthia Clements was holding a knife as they approached her vehicle on a highway 10 days ago. Cops tried to negotiate her surrender.
You're under arrest. Turn your car off and step out of the vehicle.
Clements appears distraught, and one officer worries she might be suicidal.
She's got the knife to her neck. She got the knife to her neck.
Officers say Clements then set the car on fire. A warning to our listeners, what happened next is very graphic.
Cynthia, get out of the car! Hey, put the knife down! Put the knife down!
The officer who fired has been placed on leave while state police investigate. Lisa?
Thanks, Steve. A big bank taking a stand on gun control.
Citigroup is putting new restrictions on firearm sales by its business partners, becoming the first major U.S. bank to take a financial stand in the national gun control debate. Citigroup will prohibit its clients and business customers from selling a firearm to anyone who hasn't passed a background check or anyone under the age of 21. Customers also won't be allowed to sell bump stocks and high-capacity magazines. Citi will also be reviewing any banking relationships it might have with gun manufacturers. The new rules, which the bank describes as common-sense measures, reflect similar restrictions taken by some major retailers like Walmart. But they also represent the strongest move to come from the banking sector. Hillary Barsky, Fox News.
The last two original Allman Brothers will play in Macon, Georgia in May, but they will be performing separately. Dwayne Bantz and Jamoy Johansson haven't been in the same town since 1999, except for Greg Allman's funeral last year. A portion of the proceeds from each show will go towards the Big House Museum, a museum dedicated to the Allman Brothers. Lisa Lacera, Fox News Radio.
When the power goes out on Guam, the little things can become surprisingly big. Small comforts are often the things we miss most during a power outage. That is why Kohler built the fastest responding generator sets in the industry. Whether you are at home or away, a residential Kohler generator will enable you and your family to live life without interruption. Kohler gas, LPG, and diesel power systems are available from Morrico Equipment, LLC on EPAL Road. Call 649-1946. That's 649-1946.
Portions of the program brought to you by King's Restaurant for 40 years, serving Guam's favorite meals to our families. Always open, always local. It's King's.
Ready to buy real estate on Guam? Congratulations! But what now?
There are so many questions, so many things to do. Where do you start? The best place to start is to call Century 21 Commonwealth Realty, Guam's biggest name in real estate. They aren't the best because they're the biggest. They're the biggest because they're the best. Trust the name. Find out why. Call Century 21 Commonwealth Realty today. 888-2121. Trust the best.
But wait, there's more incredible things to tell you about. Subway has got everything that you need for Lent. That's in fact that's where Polly got the Ash. You know, for Ash Wednesday, you got it from Subway. But they've got all kinds of great meals there that will help you maintain your obligations. We've got the Veggie Mac sandwich. They've got the fantastic tuna sandwiches that they have there, and of course the what is it? The seafood sensation. Yeah. Always try to remember the name of that and put a little bit of more on the sensation part of it. Listen, the Veggie Max with the lack of artificial colors and flavors and plenty of its own favors. Visit any convenient Subway location today at Subway. Fresh is what they do.
Connecticut water treatment customers don't keep coming back. They're satisfied the first time. That's right. Connecticut non-electric water treatment systems take care of your water problems, and you won't need to keep calling us for repairs. Join the list of satisfied Connecticut customers who purchased their non-electric water systems years ago and are still enjoying clean, conditioned water without any hassles from timers or circuit boards.
American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email them at info@americanwatertech.com. It's time for a Cold Stone break. Try the new strawberry shortcake and the fresh lemon pie ice cream. Mix them with your favorite fruits and nuts and candies, or even the golden Oreo cookie, which is made from unicorns. You cannot get this anywhere else except Cold Stone Creamery. Cold Stone Creamery at GPO and the Micronesia Mall.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Buenas and half a day, Guausi Claramanglonya of Malolo. And this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Protehi itanotmu, protect your land. When it comes to your family land, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Ray Gibson brings you closer to the action. Morning talk that matters. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Yeah, buddy. 7 after 9, something like that in the morning. Special in-studio guest, and it's a family name that I've known for all of my life. Austin J. Shelton III is going to be in the studio, and I can't tell you how much fun I used to have knocking around with Austin J. Shelton II. And then I think everybody universally just afraid of your grandfather, the original Sonny here. He had a reputation. He could be he was a straight shooter, as they say.
Name was Sir.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Old Guam music business from back in the olden days. But we were talking about the program and doing stuff live and enjoying doing live copy for my favorite clients and stuff like that. And he says, "Well, that's good. It makes it fun, doesn't it?" Yes, it does. And this is the important thing. 4 hours a day, I have to have a good time doing this. And so we have things like that. For example, our website where we have a poll question. Today's poll question. Actually, I should say this this week's listener poll. Who will win the Republican primary? And there's only one choice. It's Tenorio Atta. I didn't bother putting anything else in there. I just wanted to see. Let me just check the results of that and see who's ahead. Well, how about that? Tenorio Atta with 100%.
Go figure.
Can you imagine? As I said, it's got to be fun for me, too. So can I call you Sonny? Would that be all right?
What do they call? Austin's good for me.
Yeah. All right, Austin Shelton.
Yeah, and then I have a son, Austin the IV. So
I didn't know that.
It's getting a little confusing. Yeah.
No, that's
2 boys now.
Oh, that's something. Well, I appreciate that side of the tradition. And an odd thing though, because your grandfather in the music business, jukebox and pinball and pool table business for a long time. Your dad did that as well.
Yeah, that's right.
And so, how is it that you avoided getting into the jukebox and the pinball machine and pool table business?
Well, my dad was also a fisherman, and so we grew up on the beach in Assen, and
yes.
I saw the reefs changing. We weren't catching as many fish as we used to, and my dad was wise enough to infuse a little bit of science into the lessons on fishing.
Yeah.
So we threw these bottles in the ocean when I was in first grade. Messages ended up in the Philippines. I had pen pals.
Oh,
4
get
or
out.
5 of them, yeah. And they all ended up in Mindanao. And we turned that into my first science fair project on ocean currents. I realized I was connected to the rest of the world, won a great prize in science, and never looked back. I'm a marine biologist today and environmental scientist.
Isn't that something? Isn't that something? And the first time I'd actually ever heard that story, but I'm very familiar with the area. We'd go on night dives, and it's kind of interesting the way the waves will break in a couple of different directions out in your backyard. And so I remember it being one of those things where you had to be pretty careful on the way out and on the way back in.
Yeah, it's a pretty dangerous place if you don't know how to go out and you don't come back through the channel.
No.
Yeah, that's the mistake that people make, and we've rescued quite a few people in the back. You have to come back over the reef in another area. Don't fight the current coming back in that
What
channel.
a great place to grow up, huh?
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
just walk in either direction and go and immerse yourself into something, as you say, that is seemingly here but connected to everything else. So in addition to the things that you stuck in the water that ended up in Mindanao, I imagine that you've seen some things wash up on your shores down there that reminded you about that connection.
Yeah, lots of different things wash up, but I think the most interesting thing about Assen Beach is that you can still find World War II bullets from...
oh, really?
Yeah.
From the invasion?
From the invasion.
Oh, how about that? Well, I imagine that millions of them were fired off, and I don't think anybody was walking around collecting them. But a lot of history behind that place as well. So the reason why Austin is here this morning is to help promote the 9th Regional Conference on Island Sustainability. Start with defining sustainability.
Sure. So... sustainability. That means we want to be around forever and thrive here on our island. We want to make sure that our culture persists. We still have coral reefs. We still have native forests. And what we need to do to make that happen is what we talk about at these island sustainability conferences. This will be our 9th one, started by President Underwood in 2009. And we do a little more each year, and I think this will be our best conference ever.
Well, I was thinking it was just going to be a bunch of speeches, and we'll have some coffee and tea afterwards, and we're done. But it looks like you've got days and days and nights of activities that we can touch on here in this interview.
Right, that's right. We get started on Monday with pre-conferences, events, workshops for the coastal homeowner. Right. If you live on the beach, you can come to a Sea Grant workshop and learn how to stabilize your shoreline to prevent it from washing away. And then Tuesday, the President Underwood is hosting a forum for island university presidents coming from Ryukyus in Okinawa, Jeju National University in Korea, Western Philippines University, Northern Marianas College, Palau Community College. They're going to get together for the summit and discuss these issues of island sustainability. And the report out from that summit will be the kickoff to our conference on Tuesday evening.
Interesting. And so, golly, there just seems to be so much going on. There was the Island Sustainability Community, and you stuck this on top, I think,
yes,
to make sure that we headlined this a little bit more than anything else. So tell me about the community
First
night.
time we're ever doing it at the conference is we're going to have one public event, a big event for anybody who would like to come on Wednesday night, March 28th, 5:30 at the Hyatt. We're going to have food demonstrations, exhibitor booths, community groups, all talking about sustainability, entertainment by Patrick Palomo and Andrew Gumatautau.
Awesome.
And then the feature of this evening is our version of TED Talks.
Oh.
They're called, you know how TED Talks is ideas worth spreading?
Yeah.
So we have CIS Seed Talks, that's the Center for Island Sustainability. CIS Seed Talks, ideas worth cultivating.
I ran into an interesting story, and I spoke about it just a little bit earlier today about seeds, and another one of these things where the brown tree snake's eradication of certain bird species has caused a change that unless you pay attention, you wouldn't necessarily know.
That's right. Yeah, those birds are our seed dispersers.
Right.
Without them, we have to do it manually.
And so Doni Sally, the Doni named after the chili pepper, the Sally named after the Marianas starling. And because we don't have any more starlings around here, we're not growing as many wild Doni plants out in the boondocks. And it's one thing to go to Grandma's house and get them off of her tree, but they tell me that there's a different flavor and a different level of spiciness on the ones that are growing naturally out in the boonies.
I bet. See, all these different changes. And we started working in Umatic because the fish weren't tasting the same anymore. And so you'll hear all about this in one of our features, too, at the conference, the GROW Initiative, the Guam Restoration of Watersheds Initiative, where, all those badlands down south, all the red caps on the mountains, where everything is washed away, there's no more topsoil there or nutrients, and no more birds to drop the seeds off. So we're working on a project to find the right native plants we can drop off of drones and helicopters and reforest the island quickly.
Just do it manually, but give it something so that there's nature has a toehold up there.
And we also don't want to walk up the mountain for 6 hours at a time to get there and plant a few hundred trees. We want to get this done in one lifetime at least.
Well, advanced use of the technology. Well, that's going to be very interesting. Now, when you talk about local food demonstrations, I don't know if you are aware, but there's somebody out there that's doing a beer, brewing a local beer, I think, with local products. Are you familiar with that?
No, I haven't heard about that.
Okay, we're going to see if we can get you guys hooked up. There is still time to have them do that. So the Sustainability Conference from the 26th to the 30th, there's field trips. There's field trips in this. This has got me excited because... see, the little kids are happy because we have field trips. There's one that goes to the Ugum Watershed.
That's right. Well, we're calling it an Ugum Watershed Adventure. This is down in Talafofo. And the Guam Waterworks Authority is one of our sponsors and happy to open up this water treatment plant where every day 2 million gallons of water are sucked up from the Ugum River.
From the river.
And that's spread out through more than 5 villages in the south. And so you'll see how that whole process happens. They have to filter the water, flocculate sediments. It goes through this huge process. I saw it for the first time a few months ago.
Isn't it amazing?
It's amazing.
The science behind it, as you say, the chemical filtration, filter filtration, because it is coming out of the river, and who knows what's upriver. This is why conversations about things that happen upriver and up in the mountains will have an impact elsewhere.
That's right. Mayor Chargaloff was kind of talking about that a few minutes ago on your show. But we talk a lot about the watersheds. Everything is connected from the top of the mountains down to the sea. Everything that we do on land has an effect on that water quality and the coral reef's health down at the bottom of the watershed.
Well, it wasn't that long ago where Ugum water treatment plant was seemingly always in jeopardy, and we'd have heavy rains that would come through here, and the sedimentation that would wash down with the water and make the Ugum water treatment plant absolutely choke, and that happened fairly regularly in the rainy season, at the edges of the dry season, and it didn't stop. I haven't stopped hearing about it until I want to say they went through a major upgrade there, millions and millions of dollars worth of an upgrade, so that they could deal with the extra sediment that washes down.
The sediment is still coming down, but they do a fantastic job of filtering it out through this 5-step process that you'll see throughout the plant. And the water's the best there. You know, people like to go up and fill up their water bottles at the faucet right by the plant. It's sweet water.
I was going to say, it's Mammoth Honum. They're $30 on the bus ride. We'll get you the bus ride and the lunch down there, and a tour of this the watershed and the treatment plant that is associated with it down there. And you should, if you live anywhere south of Agana Shopping Center, you ought to be very interested in what's happening with this. I think that might be one of the best ways that we can get water out in that side of the island. Of course, we've got the big lens and the aquifer up north.
That's right.
And we always have to be careful about what happens on the plateau up north, so that we're not sending anything that would taint, if you will, the water that comes out and feeds the rest of the island.
Yes, got to keep our water clean.
It's all connected, as he says. Pathways to Graduate School in Science, a pre-conference workshop going on.
Oh yeah, it's spring break next week. So students are welcome to come on Monday morning, and they can learn how or what it takes to get a PhD or a master's degree in the sciences. We'll have University of Alaska Fairbanks with us, and they have a PhD program partnership with the University of Guam, so we're paying their in-state tuition rate.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So, what does it take? What kind of courses do you need to take to be able to get into a terminal science degree? You'll learn all about it there on Monday morning.
Well, the good news is that we've got some people here that will hold your hand through it. I see my buddy Manny Hechinova's name on the speakers list, and he's pretty good at things like this and explaining what can sometimes be a baffling series of steps through all of this, and because it starts with the STEM and then it blossoms out to all of the other stuff.
You need to find your mentors and people who have done it. I think. for Chamorro marine biologists,
Mhm.
PhDs. There's only 3 of us at University of Guam, and we're surrounded by
I
all
was gonna
this
say,
ocean.
how is that possible?
Well,
Then we should
have
be
to
handing
know.
these things out like business degrees.
We have to know how to do it. You know, if you don't have somebody in your family that's a scientist, you need to find one that can help you through it. So I can do that. Anybody at the University of Guam is happy to
Well,
mentor
that
students.
which brings up the question, though. If we have the conversation about how do I find my way into the science field, and somebody's going to say that's great. What are you going to do for food? How will you eat? And maybe that's why there's only 3 of you.
Well,
and
do you know
everybody works in academics.
any science graduate program is free.
Oh,
you want to go to law school or medical school? You
Gots
got
to
to
pay.
you got to put the money up.
Yeah.
If you want to get into the sciences, there's typically a graduate research assistantship or a teaching assistantship. They pay your tuition and you get a stipend.
Yeah, but I mean afterwards, what do I do for a
Afterwards,
living?
Well, you could be a professor like me.
No.
but there's
I
also
don't know.
there's lots of other jobs.
You're
There's
the sanest guy in academia I've met this year. So
no, there's federal jobs, local jobs, like the Division of Aquatic and Wildlife Resources at Department of Agriculture. They're looking for biologists all the time. We have grants coming into the University of Guam every month, and we need to hire biologists to go out into the field and work with us, do surveys, do a little science, do community outreach.
what are the opportunities with the military buildup? Because that's kind of a big cloud.
We hear this $8 billion figure, right? I mean, the possibilities could be endless. We're working on getting projects at the University of Guam right now. We get about $2.1 million in these projects for Department of Defense called Cooperative Ecosystem Studies Units. So we help make sure that the science is good on surveys for
Exactly.
biomonitoring, checking if trees are holding sediment, like in Seti Bay. Lots of different work that we could do to
What
help
was
with
the answer on that question? Are trees holding sediment down in SETI, or are we still seeing a lot of runoff
there was
plume?
several years there where they planted thousands and thousands of trees, and the acacia trees planted there are pretty effective.
They're coming through, doing what they
They're
need to do. All right, because I know that there was a great concern, and I think there is still a concern about runoff choking the reef down there.
More to do, of course. There's still a lot of badlands, open, exposed areas. There's fires still that we get during the dry season by deer poachers burning hillsides or backyard fires getting out of control.
Is that still a thing?
Oh, it happens. As soon as dry season started, it was in the Post for the Guam Post for
No, I saw
2 or
the
3
fires,
days
yeah.
straight. That's not natural.
I always thought those things were naturally set, but they're not. It's
Guam's
poachers
not hot
still.
enough. It's deer poachers, the cigarette out of the window, or backyard fires that
Just get away from the guy. No, I got it, but I look at this time of year and I see the fires, and I just presume that's
Perhaps
Mother
it's
Nature.
only a couple people doing it, but one person to set a fire, you can get hundreds of acres burned at one time.
Oh yeah, it happens fast. We've got a transmitter site up on Mount Ludum, and Mount Ludum most times of the year it's got this beautiful breeze that runs through it. Mungla, it's great. And then the last time I went up there, it was all of the grass had burned. It didn't kill it, but it was hot enough so that it left the black chaw.
Sure. That grass comes back, but it's swordgrass. They have shallow roots, so you're still getting erosion in between. We should have some natural forest in there to hold things in place.
You are going to go down as one of the most interesting people I'm talking to today. The Green Dream competition is going to be taking place this coming Monday over at the Hyatt. High school competition?
High school. This is where we bring in our high school students. They're going to have a Green Dream office competition. They're going to come with a model and plans for how to retrofit some of our office buildings here. And it's really an interesting competition every year. We have almost all the high schools represented, and some from the CNMI. We'll have a couple students groups come from Saipan.
So what do you mean retrofit?
Let's say that they look at this building and how can you reduce your energy costs? Can you seal the windows up, put some solar panels on top to reduce your energy costs, things like that.
Yep.
Put a low flow shower head.
So the upside here is that you're helping the environment and you're saving money. Because sometimes you have to be, because sometimes businesses will only look at it from the perspective of, is this going to save me money?
Yeah, and that's fine. And we actually have a featured speaker from Siemens, this large company that does exactly that. how could you put all these retrofits in, save energy, and pay for it with your savings right up front?
Yeah, and that's important. So LEED certification, a big deal in this town, and I was bragging the other night about hosting the Coast 360 annual membership event that they do where they have an election and everything. And Coast 360, among the very first of the large businesses here on Guam, when they had an opportunity to move out of their old building, they built a new building that is so environmentally aware. It's not funny. I mean, they reuse practically everything in that building. Water that you use to flush goes and up to the roof, where they've built grass carpets along the rooftops.
The green roof.
Yeah,
that's
the green
right.
roofs. And that's the reason why they do that. So they say that water gets used a second time.
Yeah, absolutely. They're a leader in sustainability, and we thank them for being a sponsor this year of our conference, too.
Yeah, and one of the things that is worth talking about is not very far into the future, down the street from where we are here at the Choice Broadcasting Universe, there is going to be another Coast 360 building. And my understanding is that they will be putting those, whatever they've got at Coast 360 in Mighty, there's going to be that and more. In the new building with the new technology. Since they've opened that one, there are opportunities for even more sustainable trips.
Our keynote speaker is a green business speaker for the first time. Her name's Jessica Marathi Radpravar. You might know Jackie Marathi.
Yeah.
This is her daughter. She we went to school at the same time. Grew up went to St. Anthony's.
Oh, you guys
but
are all
then
brainiacs.
She left Guam after graduating from the Academy of Our Lady. She went to Princeton. Then NYU Business School for her master's, and then she's just been a global traveler ever since. Right now she's living in Amsterdam, but she's helping all these different businesses from her boutique consultancy do corporate social responsibility.
See, that's what I was talking about when we started. You go from STEM, and STEM by itself, I love science, I love mathematics and technology and all of that, but sometimes you wonder, how will I be able to, if the kids want to do it, how are they going to be able to turn that into something that will turn into a paycheck that they can get every 2 weeks?
Sustainability doesn't have to be all STEM. It touches every sector of society,
of course.
like business for Jessica's example.
The graduate credit for teachers, so if you sign up for this, then you get
spring break, right? So teachers get a special subsidized rate to the conference, and if they'd like to get a graduate credit to add to their resume, they just have to pay this one credit fee of $20, and we have an instructor, Dr. Cheryl Sangueza, that will help them through this process. So you don't just attend the conference and get all this knowledge. You also can put it down on your resume.
Put it down. Yes, I've got a mark.
And how do you apply that to
continuing credits of education? That's also very important to teachers. So let me just go over it because I want to get everything together in my head. We've hit a bunch of places. The conference itself begins the 27th.
Pre-conference events begin
26th.
on Monday, the 26th. And then the official kickoff of the conference is 4:30 on the 27th, Tuesday.
And that's going to be taking place at the university?
At the Hyatt.
Oh, at the Hyatt.
Yes.
Okay, so 26th for the pre-conference, 27th, and then those things take place at the Hyatt. For many of the events that we're talking about, I will need to have had to pay, right?
Yes, for a bunch of them. But there's a lot of the free pre-conference events, the free Island Community Night on Wednesday night. And you can see how this all comes together on our website, www.uog.edu/CIS 2018.
Center for Island Sustainability is what CIS stands for, 2018, because that's what year this is. And if you've got any questions past that, then send somebody an email.
Yes. You can send me an email. Shelton, SHELTON, @uog.edu.
It's going to be a big deal. I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk about this. I don't want you to be a stranger now that you know where the place is, frankly, because there's a whole lot more going on in the world of sustainability that is of interest. You know, a lot of times we get into this conversation and it seems like it's only going to be of any kind of interest to the hippies and environmentalists and the academians, and sometimes that feels like it flies over my head a little bit. But
not at all. This is for all of us. Sustainability is for everyone.
You bring it down to my level, and if for no other reason, because it's got a field trip. You get for $30, you can go on a field trip down to Ugam and see what the water treatment plant down there
and we
looks
have
like.
a few student scholarships left. If you write a 100-word essay today, you can find it on the website. We have a few scholarships for our students, and lots of great deals for teachers, subsidized rates, things like that. We're trying to get as many people as we can in the room and still give a robust program.
Well, there's plenty of room there. It'll be fine. www.uog.edu CIS 2018, or find Dr. Austin Shelton III, and he'll let you know everything else. Great guest. Great
Thanks so
program.
much, Ray. And beautiful studio.
Well,
So cool to be here.
I'm glad you like it. I mean, we got the Facebook Live thing, and so you can download this later on and look at the thing at your interview where it says Kevin Kerrigan all day long.
Nice.
Yeah. Sweet technology. I'll learn how to use it one of these days. It's the bottom of the hour, 9:30 as a matter of fact. We'll call that iConnect time here in the studios of the radio station. iConnect, and they've got some cool technology, and I'll bet the sustainability guys like the way this works, because it means that we don't have to spend a whole lot of money on phones and messages that get written down. Connect longer for less with their push-to-talk mobile and internet plans.
This KFC chicken is great. Shrimp. Hey, who are you calling shrimp? KFC's new shrimp burger. It's great.
Howdy, folks. KFC's Colonel Sanders here. Try our new shrimp burger and all our seafood items available this season. KFC Food Kelequin, breaded shrimp, seafood salad, and of course, we can't forget your one and only favorite KFC original recipe chicken.
All right. I need to try KFC's new shrimp burger. Good, because you really are a shrimp. Hey, a 5'7".
KFC, it's finger-licking good.
In illness and in wellness, Calvo's Select Care is health care that is there for you. That's why over 80% of the Guam medical community places their trust and insures with us. We offer our members wellness and fitness programs for a healthier lifestyle and provide a comprehensive medical network on and off island to help members from unexpected illnesses. Contact Calvo's Select Care today for more information.
$7 meal from Circle K. Get your choice of 2 Nathan's all-beef hot dogs or a half-pound Nathan's all-beef footlong, a big wrap bag of chips, and any size Polar Pop. That's a giant deal of a meal, all for only $7. Circle K. Take it easy.
Hey, New Jack swinging the radio. Why not? 9:32 a.m. on KUSG FM. That's us. Happy to talk to you about all kinds of stuff. But I've got a couple of people. I can see the door opening here, so I'm going to bring them in. And you might need to, Mike. You might need to set up another break here so I can sit everybody down. So go ahead and bring them in. Mike's going to play another commercial or two, and I'll bring up the next set of guests that I've got in the studio, and a delightful topic on different ways that you can help out humanity. That's coming up next. You and your backpack are going to be able to help. Details after these.
Wendy's welcomes the new Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger, featuring smoky sauteed portobello mushrooms, melted Asiago cheese, crispy applewood smoked bacon, and crunchy fried onions atop a juicy beef patty. For those craving the same great taste, Wendy's Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato is also loaded with sauteed portobello mushrooms, cheddar cheese sauce, and crispy applewood smoked bacon. Here, for a limited time, get a delicious Smoky Mushroom Bacon Cheeseburger and Smoky Mushroom Bacon Potato today. Wendy's. Now that's better.
Zero down? Yes. 1.9% financing? Yes. Easy trade-in? Yes. No payments for 90 days? Yes. We'll have you saying yes, too, to these amazing deals. Like our big boy truck, the Ford F-150 at only $217 per paycheck. Or the top safety pick Mazda CX-5 Sport at only $194 per paycheck. Or turn heads in the Mazda 3 Sport or the sleek and sophisticated Kia Soul. Both for only $129 per paycheck. Visit us online at triplejguam.com. Some conditions apply. See dealer for details. Triple J, customers first.
9:34. Okay, now we got a little bit of that clumsiness out of the way, and I can move forward with the next batch of guests in the program. Hey, it's the weekend, and no doubt this weekend there's going to be all kinds of fun stuff. I was talking with the mayor of Molesso, and he's got the Crab Festival that's going to be coming up, and now we've got a head start on the sustainability conference and all of that. So the side angle on this conversation is going to be one of the guests is a big hiker. And I love the idea. Is one of my favorite things when I was growing up was being able to throw a bunch of stuff in the back of a 4-wheel drive vehicle, park it at a trailhead somewhere, and then just go and get lost in the boondocks, and then try to find your way back to the car. Right?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a new
Oh,
approach.
We're hardcore. They didn't have. This is the '60s, no. They didn't have trails. It was just.
This is true.
Where are you going? I'm going there. How do you get there? Not sure.
I'm going to figure it out.
Yeah, and lucky if you had a mini bike or somebody that knew how to do that, or trail bikes or things like that. But most of the time, it was just walking in the boondocks and getting cut to ribbons by the swordgrass. Can you imagine? But anyway, so with me in the studio, I've got Catherine Mai.
Correct.
That is
Cat is fine.
Cat, okay,
Yes.
Cat, and there's Robbie.
Bautista.
Robbie Bautista. And now you're both Rotaracts, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay, I'm a
that's
big
correct.
supporter of the Rotaract movement here as an on-again, off-again Rotarian since the 80s. I've had the opportunity to work and play with Rotaracts, and they're great when you've got like district conferences and things like that.
Yes, of
Because you guys
course.
do all the grunt work. You guys, you get the ice, get the water, put the drinks in the coolers, go pick up so-and-so and such and such. And it's always nice to be able to have a veritable army of people that we can count on to help. Yeah. So, but in the years since we developed the Rotaract program and made it something other than slaves for the regular Rotarians, you guys have developed your own programs to help out the community, and so that's what this conversation is going to be about. And I was looking at it, and I thought I can help right now because I've got like all guys. We like bags. Guys like bags. We're not purse people, but I like bags. I want someplace to put my wallet, keys to the cars, the gun, stapler, whatever it is that you want to talk. I want to have a bag, so I go through a new bag or two every once in a while.
Right.
And I do enough traveling. Right there's a backpack over there. It's just one of the way we do things. So we've got plenty of these bags, but rather than give you the bags, you want me to fill them with stuffs.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so Backpacks for Humanity.
Correct.
Is the program, and project. Sorry, well, program is the same. At the end of it, it's the same thing. We're just working together to help other people out, and it's not that there's a whole lot of people that need backpacks and bags and tote bags on Guam, right? It's not like there's this whole population of people that are suffering because they don't have a bag to put stuff in. It's they don't have the stuff that's in the bag.
Oh, it's actually, so it's kind of like a joint project, actually. So it's not just for homeless people. It's for people in the community who are just in need in general. So basically, the idea was spurred when, I work in Agotnya a lot, and that's where a lot of the homeless people are. And I noticed they kind of struggle.
Where's that?
In Hagåtña.
Okay, yes.
Yes, and I noticed a lot of homeless people, they struggle. They're carrying plastic bags, and they have like a whole bunch. And, I'm sure it's difficult enough, being, out in the streets, and they have, their belongings in these plastic bags, which I'm sure they always have to replace. And I thought, what help it would be if someone gave them a backpack so that they can easily transport those few items that they have.
Right.
And in addition to, when you give them a backpack, give them some basic everyday needs. Also thinking about how, like you said, we all have a whole bunch of bags. I'm a girl. I have so many bags. And, we're in this era where people are very wasteful. So it's encouraging people to be less wasteful and realize that you don't have to be rich. You don't have to have a lot to help people. You can help people with what you presently have. And, what a joy it would be for someone to be able to have those few necessities.
So it doesn't need to be a new backpack. This is not something
I'm actually encouraging lightly loved backpacks.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes.
So the worst thing about mine is they might have some beetle nut stuff on the inside,
Okay, usable.
No, it's still, you just gotta,
just like
once it
dust
gets
it
in
out.
there, you know how it is. Once it gets in there,
Okay.
it doesn't sting. No, I don't think I have anything that stinks in it.
Oh, no, stain, sorry.
Oh, no, and certainly no stain stuff. As I said, because there's a high rotation of these things for whatever reason. So sometimes it's traveling, and sometimes it's just, like I said, I want something different to take to work with me. And so it's all kinds of bags that we're asking for. It's Backpacks for Humanities.
Correct.
But it doesn't necessarily have to be a backpack.
Well, it could be a backpack, a tote bag, or a gym bag.
even.
Gym bags, okay. So, and the idea then is we're going to fill them, as you say, with everyday needs. Now, some people are going to say, well, I don't have time to do all of that running around. Oh, wait, no, I'm the only one that's going to say that. I don't have time to go running around. Now, when it comes to toothbrushes and toothpaste, that's easy because I do enough traveling, and when I travel, I steal the toothbrush and toothpaste and soap from the. You're right. Everybody does that. You're supposed to.
Exactly, and that's another thing, right? When I go to the hotels, I don't use the items that they provide me. I usually bring my own, and these usually go to waste too.
So don't let them go to waste.
Exactly.
Always
Don't let them
grab
go
a
to
couple of them.
waste.
So
You
I
help some people
I
out.
could fill a bag right now with just some stuff that I stole from the hotel in Manila.
Sure. No, why not?
Why not?
So
Absolutely.
that's the easy way to do it. But other than those kinds of toiletries, toothbrush and shampoo and whatever, what else should we put in the bag? What do you think, Robbie?
Yeah, so you can even give some snacks, some like granola bars, and also some clothes. So if you have those 5K shirts that either you don't fit anymore, again,
It's kind of the opposite reason for keeping 5K shirts.
They all just go for the shirts.
Yeah.
Again, we stress the lightly loved, so please don't give us your holy shirts. But if they're with their sleeves ripped or whatnot, but it's still usable, basically the thought is if you'd still want to use it, that means
Somebody
will
else will
want
want to use it.
So that's kind of the thought process behind the lightly loved aspect.
But it'd be nice if you could. I'm trying to think of if I had to live on the streets and some of the things that I'd like to be able to have some kind of small toolkit or something. Just maybe something in a pocket knife. For no other reason, so when you're bored, you can whittle. But things like that. Try to imagine. Put yourself in the shoes of somebody who is living on the streets, away from home, doesn't have necessarily any access to any other personal infrastructure. Hand sanitizers will go an awful long way to keeping these
Even
people
like
healthy.
water bottles.
Water bottles will go a long way as well. And how many of you, have gone through that? What do they call them? The big. They're like this one, except more expensive.
The Hydro Flask.
Yeah, Hydro Flask. I like a Hydro Flask too. They're all getting. And how many of you have dozens of them now?
Oh, yeah.
For whatever reason, I got a different one, a different color. Somebody gave me a different one for my birthday. You know what? Hydro Flask will go a long way for them as well.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Charge up cold water somewhere, stays cold with them all the way through the day. Right. So there's all kinds of ways you can personalize this if you want.
Oh,
to.
yeah, absolutely.
Yes,
as long
absolutely.
as it's a minimum of 5 items, you could get as creative as you want.
I think that's
Yes.
going to end up being doable. So people are listening and they're going, okay, got it. I've got my bag and I've got some stuff I can put in it. Right now, how do I get it to Kat and how do I get it to Robbie?
All right, so basically, you can give me a call. My number is 687-2696, or you can email us at rotoractmarianas@gmail.com. And also, I do want to mention we do have a general meeting at the Pacific Star tonight. It's from 6:30 to about maybe like 9. You can actually put that stuff together, if you do have time, and you can drop by at our meeting and
At Pac Star?
at
Yes,
the Pacific
in the
Star
Pro Room.
Okay.
At the Pro Room.
That's upstairs in
correct.
the lobby,
That's
right?
actually
Yes,
the lobby.
that's
Yeah, okay, all right. And the phone number was 687-27...
2696.
2696 is the number.
You can give me a call and I'll be happy to meet up with you.
I got you. Or send some of the other Rotoracts off in that direction to do it as well, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And
Probably me.
Because Kat has her slaves too. So that's what a great. Are there any other programs and projects that you guys have got coming up in the future? I mean, this is a great first one of the season. But we're moving into springtime and then summertime soon. And I know the Rotoracts are always the busier end of it. So what kind of things you guys got popping up?
I'll let Robbie take it.
So actually coming up in August, we have ongoing planning for our 5K. So we are once again doing 5K Run Fast for the Cast. We did this back in 2015, so we're trying to bring it back. And this will benefit the Shriners Club.
The Shrine Club of Guam.
Yeah.
But that's in August?
Yes.
In August.
Yeah.
We're
August
planning
4th.
way ahead
That's
of
only
time.
March.
Yeah. We got to get our numbers.
Call Richard over at the running club. He can plan this stuff for you in about 25 minutes. Just say, here's the date, here's the route, and go and get money and prizes from sponsors. That's really all you need to do. And the cool thing is since they're Rotoracts, they have access to all of the big money players in the Rotary Club, and so you're going to get gift certificates from all of the big guys in big business here on Guam, right?
We're hoping. Rotarians, listen up.
So when are they I was going to say, are you guys almost ready? I don't want to make it sound like Rotaract is a stepping stone into the regular Rotary Club, and the Rotary Club is not an you don't apply for membership, you are nominated for membership. But based on some of the things that you guys are doing, have any of the Rotarians kind of got their eyes on you to bring you in as full-time Rotarians? And do you want to, is the other point.
Yeah, so, interesting.
Because sometimes the speakers are boring as hell.
Speaking of speakers, I'm actually speaking at Tumon Bay next week, so hopefully I'm not going to be a boring one.
Just be pumped up like you are now.
Yeah, okay, exactly. Well, so I was approached by Rotary Sunrise to be a member last year, but I was interested in the scholarship, and if I became a Rotarian, then I would.
Then you couldn't.
I would be void from applying. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, maybe
Next
after
time.
it's all. Maybe after all of that is said and done, we can go down that road. What do you think, Robbie?
Exactly.
You want to become full-time Rotarian?
It hasn't exactly crossed my mind yet. I've actually only been a Rotaractor for about a couple years now. So I answered.
That's a long time.
I answered pretty late. But I'm so grateful for Katz for introducing me to the Rotaract Club in Marianas, because it's really an amazing organization with great people in it. I've met some amazing people, and I'm going to keep meeting amazing people actually when we go to our district meeting in April in Japan. I'm looking forward to that. And then we also have our APRC. Which is a regional conference in July. That'll be my first time going. It's in Manila, but it's expected to be an amazing time as well.
Okay, so district conference, here's the piece of advice I'll give you from senior management here, is dark sunglasses so they can't tell if you're sleeping. Because that's the other thing the Rotaracts are for. Okay, everybody else is going to go sushi bar and izakayas, and you guys have to go and stay for all of the presentations. Golly, we'll see what kind of presentations they come up with.
I guess it's a little different, right? Because this is the Rotaract district meeting. So
it's a Rotaract district.
Yeah,
it was the regular Rotary district conference.
The Rotaract.
Yeah, I've actually never been to a Rotarian.
Okay, then I want to go to yours.
Would you like to?
I'll work on it.
It'll be fun.
So, a few minutes left in the program. Her Kat's number again is 687-2696, or bring your goodies by, your backpack filled with those items, and I'll give you the list of it again before we're all done. You can take that to them over at Pack Star tonight about 6 o'clock, because they have a general meeting there, and if you're the right kind of person, who knows, maybe you stick around, become a Rotaract yourself.
Definitely.
And that one there, in that one, you don't have to be nominated, which is cool. You can just become a Rotaract.
Yes.
So that's cool. All right, so I wanted to touch on this. So when Kat and I first started talking to each other, knowing about each other on Facebook, I went to her page, because I'm a stalker like that, and found that you're big in the hiking community here.
Yes, actually. So I curate a page called Hike Guam on Instagram. Follow me. It's really cool. And what I do is I go on a hike every single Sunday. I have not missed one since June of last year. And basically what I do is every time I go on a hike, I use Instagram stories and create hike guides for people. I started this because hiking just became a passion. I hated hiking until last year. And, I found so much of myself and what I really like to do. And I really want to share this with people. It's such an amazing thing. It's good for your fitness. It's good for your heart and your soul. It helps you to appreciate Guam and the environment.
I'm thumbing through. You might be able to hear me thumbing through a newspaper, because one of the papers has the codes here to get on a hike. I want to say it's this weekend out to Tarzan
Falls or
the pools. Actually,
would that be with the Boonie Stompers?
I think it's the Boonie Stompers.
They're great. If you guys have not hiked with the Boonie Stompers, they're an amazing organization.
Well, Dave Lotz cut every trail on Guam.
He did.
Yes, he's been here since
He's amazing. He
Magellan
actually
times.
found me through Facebook, like you. He found me on Facebook. I guess he heard about all the things that I was doing and hikes, and he actually told me, "You remind me of myself when I was your age." And I was like, "That's awesome."
No, that's high praise. That's high praise indeed.
Yeah.
So you wouldn't think that every Sunday since June. that there would be some place different to go.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like the diving scene around here. If you dive on Guam for any longer than a year, then chances are that you're going to hit Haps Reef and Blue Hole 3 or 4 times. So with your hiking, different place every time?
Not every time. I try to do something different, but for example, I like to host visitors. So that's either tourists coming to Guam, maybe VFR, which is visiting friends and family, as well as military. So it's really fun to, just explore the island with people and introduce them. My one goal is for people to fall in love with Guam.
Oh, as you have.
Yes, absolutely. I love this place so much.
Do you have a favorite hike?
Oh,
I mean, what?
yes.
I mean, so you're talking about VFRs, visiting family and friends, right? So,
correct.
where if never been to Guam and you want to get them on a hike that will challenge them but not kill them,
Challenge them but not
and then
kill
when
them.
they get to that turnaround point, go, oh my God, this destination! It's everything that you think the tropics are supposed to be like.
Wow.
What's your
Well,
spot?
Ooh, that's a hard one. People don't like challenges. I noticed from my hikes. But so
No, we all like the down. We all like the downhill hikes. I like the ones where you go downhill, like Seti Bay.
I love
used
going
to
back up.
Right, we used to go down to Seti Bay, and we get down to the bottom of it, right, and there's the beach, and it's a good time, and then we'd have somebody pick us up on a boat. Just and swim. We'd swim
that's
to the
cheating.
edge. And so, but we were able to love both the land and the ocean.
That's true. Hike however way you please, as long as you're out there. I really highly encourage it. It's amazing. But as far as my favorite is Tinago Falls in Inarahan.
Never heard of it.
Exactly right. I actually noticed ever since I started going and sharing it with
God, I'm
Hike Walk,
embarrassed.
I
I'm
see a lot more
55 years
people.
old. I've never heard of this falls. Get out.
Yeah, well, I've been here 27 years,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't start exploring until last year. So, I fell in love with it, and I wish that I had done it earlier in my life.
So how do you get there? What's the and
super
what is it? What is it about the place when you get there and you go, wow, this is, as I said, here we are in paradise.
Well, other than the fact that it is astoundingly beautiful, it's a hike where it challenges you a little bit. You got the sun and the heat and everything, but when you get there, you could actually just relax. And a lot of the hikes, you're really tired, which I like, but this is a hike that you want to take after a very long week.
Oh, I
It's
see.
like, I just need to
Oh, and
recharge.
decompress.
Correct. And, there's a bamboo swing there. There's hammock. It's awesome. It's actually being maintained by a man named Bill.
Okay, and so Bill watches over the place.
Yes,
Number one, and that's always a good thing. Is it hard to get to at all?
Super easy. So the hike trail, the trailhead is at the front of Inarahan Middle School, and it's very marked. I actually noticed someone put a trail marker there. There's like a fire hydrant, and you just follow like one trail. And for those areas that are kind of like questionable, always take the right. That's what I tell people.
Oh,
Always
really?
go right. Yes.
Now, do you use any kind of technology?
Okay, so
Do we have GPS?
I don't use GPS. So what I do whenever I'm looking for hikes, most especially the new ones, I try to use a different variety of resources. That's Tihu Luhan, who is a frequent hiker. He's also the writer for the Post. He does every Friday best spots on the rock. He's amazing. So I asked him.
And that's what I was looking for, because I think that's where he's got the. I think that's where I saw it today. Was in the Post. This is today's Post.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so his article is out every Friday. Super amazing guy. I always ask him for advice. Where do I go? This and that. I use his blogs or his articles online. I look for blogs, word of mouth, and I actually have a hike partner, John Boraha. And I call him my master navigator, although he hates it, but he's great. We have found every single trail with him.
Right.
Yeah, and you tend to get lost.
But without the GPS. Now have you ever gotten stuck out there? Have you ever gotten to a point stuck as in it's dark, I can't find the trail, I'm not going to be able to get home tonight, I need to call mom?
No, not stuff like that. But I climbed down Seti Falls, which everyone tells me was a bad idea, and I was so terrified. I've never been more terrified in my life than that. But I didn't get stuck, but I was down the waterfall with the rope, and I was like, I'm gonna die today, and I was like, no, I can't do this. it was quite an experience, but I survived.
Yeah, I think I've been through that rope trial.
Really?
Yeah, I'm positive. I think maybe I have been through that, and if it's what I think, if it's what I think it is in my memory, yeah, you get that moment where you're going.
This is where I messed up.
There's an easier way down. There's a less dangerous way down than there is for that. And so we're talking about doing some hiking, and you're talking about doing something down in Arahan over by the school, and the hike that Tia was writing about in today's Daily Post is the Tarzan swim hole, and that's kind of out in the Jotnya area, and in fact I'm trying to look for where the start on the head of that is.
Yeah.
But are there any up in the central areas and maybe in the north end of Guam?
Yes. So central, there's actually a mini hike. It's called Devil's Punch Bowl. It's right in Tumon. It's kind of random, but it's super cool. It's like a sinkhole, and you can actually rappel down.
Where's that?
Okay, so there's the Hilton right outside, and there's the wall, like right before the wall.
And a set of stairs that goes up there.
Correct.
Yeah.
And that's where it is.
But people die there.
Do they?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't.
No, there was a guy. I swear to God, there was a guy years ago. Because I remember the story. My uncle was actually one of the guys that kind of found that up in the cliff. Was recently found, as they say. And so that's the reason why there's a gate there. Is when he was a senator, he had it put there. And some guy, military fella, my understanding is went over the gate at night and was walking through there and fell in the hole.
Oh my goodness.
Can you imagine falling in the darkness? I can't think of any. So make sure, always know where you're going.
Always safety.
Nighttime, safety is the number one thing.
I tell all my hikers and anyone who ever reaches out to me, safety is first. Like, there's no use, going on an adventure if you're not safe.
I'm glad that we had the opportunity to talk. So, where are you going this Sunday?
This Sunday, I'm actually looking at Fadian Cove. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Fadian. Okay, sorry.
It's okay.
Fadian Cove. I've never been there before, but I've been hearing about it from people. People always reach out to me on my page and stuff you should try this place, and they send me photos, and I'm like, wow, it's so beautiful. So that's where I'm going this Sunday. And if anyone wants to come, reach out to me on Instagram @HikeGuam. Follow me.
Hike Guam.
Yes.
Okay. It's the easy way to do that. Otherwise, you got a telephone number because when we get it to you on the other thing. Or
WhatsApp me, call me.
Or just hook up with Dave Lotz. They still get together every Saturday.
Saturday, 9 a.m. at the Chamorro Village.
Which they have been doing since Jesus was doing overnights. It's a long time that they've been doing that. And how Dave is able to find new places and show the old places in a new and different light has always been kind of amazing to me. I mean, we all live here, and more than a couple of times in this conversation, I've been embarrassed because I didn't know half of the places that she was talking about. Robbie, thanks so much for coming in.
Problem.
Kat, so nice to meet you in real life and talk to you about a couple of things that we're both passionate about, Guam and the Rotaracs. I got to break away now, and I think we're just going to keep going, right? KUSG Hagutnya is the point.
Chili's has the seafood you crave, the flavors you love, at a great price with our 3 for Me Lent menu. For just $15, you can get a beverage, fresh salad, and a Lent-friendly entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a fresh house salad right before you indulge in your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our spicy shrimp tacos, savory Cajun pasta with shrimp, or our flavorful grilled ancho salmon. Chili's 3 for Me Lent menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's. More life happens here.
Yes, money is something we should talk about and plan for and use to make life better. It's how we make our giant leap from where we are to where we want to be. So let's talk together and work together to check off shiny new kitchens, fully nested dorm rooms, and bucket lists with more countries than our passports can hold. Let's check them all off together. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC.
Come out for the 4th annual Chucky Run and Fun 5K, 2K, and Flyaway giveaway. Join us Saturday, April 14th at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Show at 5:30 and go at 6 a.m. T-shirts, medals, and other cool prizes, refreshments, and indoor activities after the races. Grand prize drawing for all participants is a trip package for 2 to Manila. Register at Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. $8 for students, $12 for adults, and group of 4 Super Saver for just $35. The 4th annual Chuck E. Run and Fun 5K, 5K, 2K, and Flyaway giveaway. See you there.
I love me a Friday. How about you? Take whatever problems, whatever issues that you come up with in the previous 5 days and pack them away, because you don't need to be thinking about that starting, for me, right now and until, I don't know, Monday or so, about 4 o'clock.
Clearly, I started at about 6 this morning.
Yeah. Michael Knight tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. on Boss 104. And have we named the show yet?
It's just the morning after with Michael Knight.
There you go. Be listening for him. And you can call him on that radio station. They got a request line. You
That's
remember
right,
the number?
888-1043.
That's 888, like ours,
Yeah,
huh?
I know, right?
Very cool. Must be the same company. Hey, we're KUSG Hagutnya until Monday morning at 6 o'clock. This is Ray Gibson bidding you a fantastic weekend. See ya.
Closer to the action. This is The Point.
Alert. Another